Get nasty here on a Friday afternoon. It's the Fast Lane. Jamie Rivers with you here. Got my guy BT joining us for the first couple of segments. And BT, our guy Anthony is trapped on Highway 270 right now.
What? What do you mean he's trapped on 270?
Well, apparently there was an accident, to which I hope nobody was injured today. But Anthony, the three right-hand lanes are closed, and Anthony's trying to work his way through it. So if you're out there and you're listening and you see, odds are, a black Acura SUV, just get out of the way. Let that guy get here. Stress levels are probably through the roof for my poor guy Anthony. But nonetheless, BT, not exactly the Friday I'm sure Anthony was looking for.
No, know this, though. If you are anywhere near him, just get out of the way for your safety. We've talked about this over the years. Anthony is a reckless driver, and the fact that he still has a license, honestly, is a blessing in and of itself. Now, when he has his family in the car, he's great. When he's by himself, though, watch out. And he is probably a little bit frustrated, but take your time, Anthony. I know you're probably listening right now. We got you covered. Life is good, and don't freak out. Jamie, you know the amount of anxiety I would have in this same given moment. We've talked about it one time. I had a pregame show that I was supposed to be at Ballpark Village for. I think the pregame show started at, let's call it 6 o'clock. I left in what I thought was going to be a good amount of time from the studios in Creve Coeur. Same concept. There was an accident down on the 70. I was taking the 70 in, and I show up to Ballpark Village, and the pregame show is going on. I'm looking in the window, and I see Scotty Warman sitting at the table by himself, and I felt so small. I'm like, I am so sorry. That's like my one big pet peeve, and I got a lot of pet peeves, but that's like the big one. I'm early to everything in life. I'm going to be early to my funeral. It's for sure. It's going to be way too soon. So yeah, that is a stressful one. But you know what? Sometimes Fridays start that way. You can have a cocktail after the day. He'll be good to go.
BT, I got a story too. It happened this year doing the Valleys game. I originally was not on the schedule. Then I got added to the schedule, but I didn't get notified. I was just supposed to look it up, I guess. Whatever it is, I'll take ownership of it because you should always trust yet verify. And I get a phone call as the Blues game is about to go into pregame. And it's our guy Gavin. And Gavin goes, hey, man, where are you? I'm like, I'm at home. What are you talking about? He's like, dude, you're on the air in like 4 minutes. I'm like, what?
Thanks for the heads up.
It turns out that it was my night. They went into scramble mode, and Panger and Andy Strickland, I think a bunch of people helped out. But I got in that car, and I remember calling a police officer friend of mine, and I said, if anybody reports a black pickup truck going fast on Highway 40 headed downtown, tell them to ignore it. I got there for the intermission, though. I have 4 minutes left in the first period.
Good for you. You made it. You're a gamer. You figured it out. Adapt and adjust. Teammates step up for each other. I will say this. I remember that happening to you because I remember being bombarded afterwards with a flurry of corporate emails. Know your schedule, and you got to be there, and you got to check. And, so thank you for that. And it's like, and if you're doing pre and post, got to be there an hour early. Screw that.
Yeah. You're welcome,
so
Brad.
Thank you for all of that. Really do appreciate it.
Well, one thing as far as being a gamer is concerned, our guy Matthew Liberatore, that was a big game for him last night. It's just another start per se, but he's playing his first start against a team that traded him in the Randy Arozarena deal. And look, I don't think there's anybody besides maybe Matthew Liberatore's parents that at this point think that was a great trade. So the young man steps up and shoves last night, goes 8 innings, 2 hits, 7 Ks, BT. I mean, he looked like the real deal.
Jamie, what this is going to be, what this is going to go down as, and we saw page 1 last night of this book, is it will be known as the Matthew Liberatore deal. This will not be the Randy Arozarena deal. This will not be the one where the Cardinals whiffed on it. This is going to be the 23-year-old that was the guy that was advertised last night. That was the guy that the Cardinals believed that they were acquiring, and it was so fun to watch. It really was because, look, you've seen flashes of it. You've seen flashes of the velocity. You've seen the big breaking ball. I've never seen his changeup look like it looked last night. And talking to him afterwards, he has not had his changeup feel like it felt last night. It was a really good pitch for him that he was able to spot at the bottom of the zone. He used his slider well. I thought that he and Knizner were really on the same page. There was not much shaking off at all. I thought the sequencing was good. I thought the fact that he was able to drop his breaking ball, because early he didn't have the good feel for the breaking ball. So they went with the fastball, and he actually threw it with conviction and wasn't afraid to throw it for a strike. And that's a big difference, especially against an offense, Jamie, like the Rays have. This is a top 5 offense in the game of baseball, and he was able to attack with his stuff. That gives you all the confidence in the world. But just mechanically, he was free and easy. It looked effortless. The timing was there. And I know that he's talked about some tweaks they're trying to make, trying to unleash a little bit more with his body, trying to get that sustained velocity. Really, any of these changes just kind of started this week. It's not like he's been doing these for a long time, so you wouldn't have think that there have been like these huge wholesale changes already within a week. But confidence is a hell of a thing, man. And if you feel like you were out there and Dusty Blake had talked about his previous bullpen, the ball coming out of his hand so well, Matthew, he asked him, hey, like percentage-wise, what are you throwing right here? Where are you at? Like, 100? He's like, I don't know, 70, 75%. And Dusty said, well, stay right there because the ball's coming out hot, and that's where you want to be. Jamie, you and I are not avid golfers, but you've been out on the links, and you know this. You get out there, and you get on that first tee box, and you're geared up, and you're thinking, all right, nice and easy. Let the club do the work. And then you swing out of your behind, and you slice one off a house on hole 17 at the Cardinals tournament. It doesn't matter. Whatever your scenario is, but it really is. There's something to it like pitching. It's kind of like that golf swing of letting the club do the work. Sometimes you got to let your body do the work, and especially when you have a body like his. It's long, it's lanky, there's lots of moving parts, and the timing is going to be everything. And he just had that good whip of the arm, put his fastball down in the zone. He put it up in the zone. I mean, everything that he was wanting to do yesterday, Jamie, he was able to do. And now you think about that. As a young man, that was his 17th career start. The numbers coming in have not been good for him. But that right there, to do that against that team and not smoke and mirrors, okay? It's not like go rocket atom balls everywhere. Wouldn't that give you all the confidence in the world, Jamie, as a 23-year-old kid saying, okay, I got some more runway, and look what I just did?
Yeah, I think it's huge for Matthew Liberatore in particular. Not just because he's a young player, a young pitcher in the Cardinals organization, but you'd be lying to yourself if you didn't think, as Matthew Liberatore, that there's pressure behind this trade. He sees Randy Arozarena. He calls
it the Randy Arozarena deal.
Yeah, like he sees it. He sees the guy at the All-Star game, the home run derby, and all, like, doing all these things. Like, you'd be a fool not to recognize that. So there's a lot of pressure on Matthew Liberatore. One, to play in the majors, and then two, now to live up to the billing based upon the trade that the Cardinals made. But, BT, how does a guy like Matthew Liberatore keep this going? Like, for the young pitcher, that's always the challenge.
No, you're right. And so here's what I would say. Whatever small tweaks that he's doing, because Matthew Liberatore, you get to the big leagues because you have a certain skill set. His skill set, he's 6'6", he's left-handed, he throws hard, good breaking ball. But at some point, you are going to run into a struggle. I don't care how talented you are. And he finally ran into these struggles at the big league level. So when you do that, that's when you start making tweaks to your game or tweaks to your routine, or you really start digging in and asking more questions. Matthew is a real student of the game. He's got a very in-depth knowledge of all the advanced analytics. He's a really good thinker when it comes to advanced baseball. And so I think that just here recently, he's starting to add in some different things and different movements and different motions and different ideas and different strength concepts, because once if you do the same thing for a long time and you get to a high level, you're scared to tweak it. You're scared to go out there and make any changes. Well, when you struggle and you're still 23 years old, you're trying to figure out what routine best suits you, you're open to making changes. So I think that the concept of how do you do this again, well, the little things that helped you unlock whatever it was, whether it's in the strength room, it's conditioning, it's thought process when you're out there throwing your bullpen, you remember what you did and you keep taking steps forward, right? And you keep really focusing on those little things. And then when you go out there and you get on the mound, you have the ability to throw it at that quote-unquote 70, 75%, not feeling like you're rearing back for every single pitch. And then you end up just being free, you're easy, and you're confident. So it's one game, right? It's one very good game, the best game of his career. As you mentioned, Jamie, it's a career high in innings, only 2 hits. His first career start where he didn't walk anybody, you know, like that has been a big bugaboo for him too. The free passes, it's ball 1, ball 2, holy crap. Punched out 7, that's a career high also. So build off of that. But the confidence for me with Libby, and you could just see it on his face after the game in the clubhouse, it almost felt like, as you mentioned, Jamie, like a weight was lifted. Like he knew that was in there, and we've all known that the talent is there, but to actually see it come out, I think that's going to do a lot for him. The confidence, to me, as much as all of the other tweaks that he's going to be doing, Jamie, in between starts, I feel like that belief and that knowledge that you can do it is going to be the biggest thing.
BT, you mentioned Andrew Knizner, and he's had a great second half. You mentioned the confidence that Matthew Liberatore had last night, and Kiz even talked about that in the postgame show. How instrumental was his role in what Matthew Liberatore did last night?
I think it was huge. I really do, and especially early on. That first inning was one where he was laboring a little bit. 26 pitches in the first inning, kind of see it on his face, and then really settled in. And his ability to know Libby, because he's caught him before, and he knows him pretty well over the last couple of years, the ability to know, okay, early the curveball is not landing, so let's move away from that. I thought the way that he set up, he wasn't set up far off the plate on stuff. He gave him more of the plate, let the ball run. You noticed his fastball had a lot of arm side run to it, so he set up in a position where he could still catch that for a strike and not run off the plate. I just thought that they were on the same page, and I thought that it really helped. And who knows, man, maybe if Contreras was behind the plate, maybe it ends up going the same way. But I think that Andrew Knizner does such a good job of preparing for ball games and mentally knowing how he wants his pitchers to attack, but also has the ability to adjust on the fly. I think it really helped out. And by the way, he's swinging a freaking crazy hot bat, another 2-run home run. So very happy for him, because like Kiz, you went out there and you signed Wilson Contreras, and everybody knew that they were in the market for a catcher. That had to be a swift kick for him, and all he does is continue to take advantage of it every time he gets out there.
It's 2:12 here in the Fast Lane. Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers. We got to
go, Anthony. Jeez.
Anthony Stalter still making his way to the studio here, hopefully safely. Italian hands probably flailing all over the place right now. Anthony, keep him on the wheel, please. BT, I had some things to say about Tyler O'Neill yesterday, and I want to bounce them off you. We come back here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. It's a Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers with you here. Brad Thompson joining us for at least one more segment. We got Andrew Marsh on the dials and Anthony Stalter somewhere out there in traffic right now. Be safe, Anthony. BT, we had a little discussion yesterday about a certain individual, that individual, Tyler O'Neill. And a
positive, happy discussion about his potential, and the fact that top 10 in the MVP a couple of years ago, and you believe that he's headed in the right direction. Am I picking up what you're laying down?
No, not even close. Actually, no, not even close. Although I did say that he is super talented individual. I also mentioned that that's the frustrating part of it, is that he is so talented and he's so able, but.
Potential? And the fact that, top.
Yeah. Anyways, the fact that he took a couple of games off due to injury or, I don't know, knee soreness because of turf, it rubbed me the wrong way. As a guy that would be in that clubhouse or in that locker room, I just feel like, Brendan Donovan playing through injury for multiple games. I know there's lots of other guys playing through bumps and bruises and injuries. And then you get Tyler O'Neill, who's supposed to play, gets out there, shagging balls, by the way, out in the outfield like a Gold Glover, running around. I'm reading some of the Tampa journalists talking about how he looked incredible out there. And then all of a sudden, it's just too much. He didn't like the surface, and his knees didn't agree with it. I just feel like it was bad for the culture of the team. You got a guy who sits out a couple of games because he doesn't feel quite right, but then all of a sudden just decides he's going to play, and then somebody else has to come out of the lineup, and he automatically goes back in. I would have sat him out. That was my opinion. I said it yesterday before he was put into the lineup, and I don't know how much control Ollie has over this or what his thoughts were, but I just don't like it. I don't like the look of it, and I feel like that's part of the locker room culture that needs some help.
Yeah, so a couple of things. One, I won't try to act like I know what he's feeling like on a given day, so I don't know what the pain looks like. I do know this. Goldie doesn't feel good. Arenado doesn't feel good. Newt's got a bad heel right now that he's been playing through. You should watch Newt Bar when he tries to decelerate. It don't look good. But he's hurting, and he's out there, and he's answering the bell.
He's playing through it, Brad?
Correctly.
Oh, wow.
Correct.
Imagine that.
To that point. So if you're one of those guys, so the other day, Goldie was supposed to get the day off. He was supposed to DH in that game. Then Tyler couldn't go in game 2 of it. And Goldie knows exactly what Newt is going through. And he knew that Newt is a gamer and he was going to play anyhow. And he said, no, I'll play first base, you DH, and take care of that heel for a little bit. Like being a good teammate. That's what teammates do. So it does end up, and again, not knowing what he's going through, what he feels like on a given day, and talking about O'Neill. I have no idea. I was watching him yesterday very intently, and he was out by himself too. There was no member of the training staff with him. He was out by himself doing stretches and doing like running stuff and agility, testing the knee before the game. And to me, that's me. And again, just optics. To me, that says that's the training staff just saying, let us know. If you can go, you can go. If you can't, let us know. But we're not going to be out there. We can't hold your hand.
Which is usually not a good sign. Because
it's
not a good sign health-wise. I'm talking about not a good sign that the trainers are just like, whatever.
Well, and I don't think they're whatever, but I think that you can't tell somebody how they feel, right? You can only check so many boxes if you go through any of your strength tests or whatever, but they don't know how he's feeling, and I don't know how he's feeling on a given day. But I think that your overall point of there are times where you play through things, and there are times where you just try to figure it out. I think that is in a broad spectrum, a good way to look at it. Now, with the other thought process, Jamie, that you had there for yesterday's game, right? You said that you would just hold him out of that one.
Yeah.
So here's the hard part with that. One, your ball club is better when he's out there. Like you are a better outfield for sure, solidified, and then you have another threat in the lineup when he is there. And here's part 2, and part 2 might be even more important than part 1. If your overall idea, or at least one of your big options this offseason, is to trade Tyler O'Neill, you need Tyler O'Neill to play. You're going to need him out there on the field as much as possible. So the idea of doing that, I'm right there with you. I had the idea in my head, like if he couldn't go again, that I would, if I were in charge, I would think about just putting him on the IL, bringing up a player that I can actually use, and then give you an extra 7 days to actually figure it out. But you need him out there playing. You need him out there. It's a pipe dream at this point to like make a playoff push, but he's part of your best roster right now. So if you want to make a push that way, or if you want to make a push towards moving him at some point, you need him on the field. I totally understand where you're coming from, though, from a culture standpoint.
Yeah, I just look at it, and for me, I'd rather go put the message out there to my team that I'm going to put the guys who want to win out there. Not necessarily the best team, and I know that sounds crazy, but look, the Cardinals are 11 games back in the Central, 9 games back of the wild card, not mathematically eliminated. But this is when you're trying to build for next year. This is when you're trying to establish what this team should look like. If Goldie's hurt, like we're talking about, if Newt's dealing with the heel and other guys are dealing with other things and they're playing through it, and they got a guy he's out there running around looking pretty darn good, and he's not pushing through, as a coach, as a manager, I'm of the mindset like you were. I said yesterday, I'd put him in street clothes for a week and be like, no, you say you're good, that's fine, we're good. And call somebody up and just move in a different direction. I know that soils a little bit of the trade value for this guy, but how much difference is there going to be anyways at the end of the day?
Yeah, and to that, I mean, you're right. He missed 63 games with the back injuries. Missed various stuff, the last couple of years. You're right. You just want to be able to put him out there on a pedestal to say, here, this is what it can look like. And whether that is, this is what it can look like for us to go win ball games, or this is what it looks like for another team to help bring us pieces to win ball games. But at the end of the day, I need guys that can post. And that's the Goldie and Arenado are superstars. You look at the back of their baseball card, they're amazing. But the telling stat with those two guys is how they're on the field all the time. I mean, these guys are playing 150-plus games every single year because that's what they do. Do they feel good for all those games? No. Do they sacrifice some things? Do they go through some down times probably offensively because they're posting all the time? Yes, like that kind of ends up being part of it. But that's why you also get paid the big bucks, because you're out there and you're getting it done. Again, I feel like it's partially an unfair conversation not knowing what somebody is feeling like, but I do know how some other guys are feeling from talking to them, and I'm sure that they could use days here and there.
Well, I guess that's ultimately my point, is I don't know what Tyler O'Neill is feeling. I've had knees where I've needed surgery and played through it, but I wasn't in a spot like Tyler O'Neill to where I could just dictate when and where I could play and if I couldn't play. To me, it's about the guys that are playing through other injuries. To me, it's about those guys. You know this, BT. You look across the clubhouse, and you know what guys are thinking. And not to put words in their mouth, but I'm sure they would like it if Tyler O'Neill could push through if it wasn't like really, really bad.
Yeah, no, and again, don't know for sure, but we know clubhouse culture quite well from living in it forever. That generally is the way it goes. Now, here's the other thing that does pop up quite a bit when there are situations like this. There are guys that are vocal about it, that will get in your face about it and will let you know about it. And I don't know if that is happening from that side. Not that there aren't probably feelings of, I wish that guy was out there, or if he posted more or whatever, but I'm not sure if there's anybody in that clubhouse that has that vocal, like, oh, you can't go? Like, let's talk about it. I'm not sure if that is there, which could be something that they need in that clubhouse as well at some point.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out anyways the rest of the year, see if Tyler O'Neill can stay healthy, because, look, the poisonous apple is what I called him last week, because he has all the tools, a 5-tool player, and when he's on his game, he is MVP caliber, and I think that's what pisses me off the most, is that this is a guy that could truly help the Cardinals in the outfield. He can help them at the plate as well, and it would just be a better team overall if he was able to play every single game.
The most shocking thing, Jamie, about the whole thing is that you went after the Canadian, and I wasn't expecting it. I figured this
I hold him to a higher
MVP.
standard, BT.
This is like Sarah McLachlan going after Drake. It's a lot, and I didn't see it coming. But at some point, you got to do what you got to do.
Well, it happens, right? It happens. BT, I know you got to go. You're on the call tonight in Kansas City.
Is Anthony there yet?
No Anthony yet. We're going to work on things. In fact, actually, Anthony just got here. So,
Yes.
BT, go enjoy your call. Good luck tonight. We'll see
Number
you.
199 for Waino tonight, boys.
I hope
Let's
so.
go.
Well, let's wish him the best.
Let's go.
All right, that's Brad Thompson. He'll be on Bally Sports Midwest tonight. When we come back here in the Fast Lane, we're going to talk to Anthony Stalter and find out where the heck he's been at.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cards get a 5-2 victory over the Tampa Bay Rays last night. Matthew Liberatore went 8 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs, did not walk any batters, and struck out 7. The Cards took 2 of 3 against Tampa Bay. They are 5-5 in their last 10 games and 9 games back of the final wild card spot tonight. The Cards will take on the Kansas City Royals. Adam Wainwright on the mound going up against Dylan Coleman. First pitch is at 7:10. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh. Sorry, boys. Sorry, guys.
What, did you sleep in again?
Nope. Never.
Hey, sleep in again? You get into Grandpa's cough syrup too much there last night?
Nope. Yeah. First and foremost, I hope everybody is okay.
We covered that.
You cover what?
We said we wished everybody was okay.
Oh, okay. So I don't want to say it?
Well, we just knew you'd come in frazzled, and I didn't want you to be worried about all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We took care of all the legal stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie. I do. I hope everybody's okay. I mean, if anybody's, was stuck in the 270 traffic there, I mean, that was over an hour. I knew you guys were fine. You guys are professionals. You have BT on. Hell, even if it's Jamie and Marsh, I mean, you guys go full show. So you guys are outstanding.
Thank you, Anthony.
I was concerned about my bladder.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that you'd come in and having to tell us that peeing your pants is cool.
I don't know how close you guys have been as an adult to peeing your own pants. That was as closest as I ever come. I've ever came to peeing in my own pants as an adult.
I almost peed my pants yesterday during the show.
Really?
But
yeah.
Marsha, you had a bathroom that was at your disposal.
Yeah,
that's true. But I had to wait till the segment was over.
Well, you could have radioed Mike Ryder.
No, he was gone.
Oh.
He left.
Either way,
did you consider emptying your jug of water and then just letting her go?
I thought about emptying the jug of water. I thought about emptying the water bottle there. The problem is, you got cars everywhere, all sides, right? You got truck drivers are sitting a little higher; they can see down. I thought about maybe grabbing my bag and kind of putting that on the lap and then doing that. It would have been an absolute mess, no matter what I did. Here's the thing. As you guys know, I've been trying to up my water intake because I suffer from migraines. One of the things that could trigger migraines, dehydration. So I upped the water intake big time. Got the jug ready to go. That's not good when there's an accident on the highway.
What are you talking about?
And you get into the car already having to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, there's your first problem right there.
I mean, I thought, okay, I'll be to the office 20 minutes, no problem.
I got this.
An hour and 15 minutes or so is what I was stuck on 270. I thought to myself, do I just go in my pants? Do I just pee?
How would you have pulled that off, though? So let's walk through this for a second. You're in your car, you can't hold it any longer, and you just let the bladder go. What's your next move when you get here?
Well, I got to stop off at a store somewhere.
And walk in with
pee pants, buy underwear, buy a new pair of pants, and go that route.
I always have extra clothes.
Do you?
In my bag, always. Not because I pee my pants, but because I live out of my bag from Monday to Friday, from being at the arena to being at the workout to being at the radio station.
You're prepared.
So I'm prepared. So just so you know, Anthony, so if you have a pee problem in the future, I can at least...
You got me covered.
Their underwear are in there, and there's shorts and a T-shirt and a diaper.
I appreciate that. Always be prepared. This guy was clearly a Boy Scout at one point. So I get off of...
No, never.
I get off 270. Eventually, you'll get around. Couple of cars smashed up on the side of the road. There was a truck they were working. I mean, it's bad when you see the ambulance go by, cops go by, the traffic, like the traffic trucks go by, and they just keep going. You're like, this is going to be pretty rough, right? But They do a great job. They get everybody cleared off. So you got to move over to one side. As soon as I got the breakaway opportunity, I was Tyreek Hill going past people.
Anthony's.
I had to.
Anthony's not what the boss wants to hear right now.
I was very safe. I was going the speed limit. I wasn't. And I was obeying all traffic laws. I was not. And then I pulled off on Olive, and there's Lion's Choice right there, right on the side. I'm like,
hey,
I'm
it's
going
not time
in.
to eat, Anthony.
No, I did not eat.
You didn't get a roast beef?
Nope.
If I was in there, I might as well just order some food.
I mean, the show had already started.
Yeah, why
I was already feeling irresponsible. I was not going to also bring in. I should have probably brought you guys some Lion's Choice, actually,
sick.
now that I'm thinking about
Should
it.
have brought us something for being so late. I mean,
My bad. I wasn't thinking.
No.
I was thinking get here so that, I could contribute. I actually just should have said, let me get there with food as an apology.
that would have been contributing.
It would have. Yeah.
Just in a different way.
But thank you to the Lion's Choice people that put the bathrooms right there.
Oh, it's big.
Like, I opened up the door, boom, bathrooms right there.
They didn't even know you were in there.
They had no idea.
I would have loved for Anthony to show up in the bathrooms like out of order.
I would have probably gone in the bushes.
Yeah, there's a few bushes over there.
Yeah. Do you guys, okay, I'm going to risk sounding like a psychopath and hope that there's
Too
some.
late now.
That's true. Just hope that there's some sort of, either with you guys or our texters, when you're stuck in a really bad traffic jam.
Yeah.
And you either have to get someplace, you're late for work, or in my situation, not only late for work, but also about to urinate in my pants.
Yeah.
Do you start having like thoughts that you're trying to fight off, but they just keep popping in your mind? For example, like, I hope nobody's hurt. But then you start to sit there for a while and you're like, this better be a bad accident. It's a terrible thought.
What?
It's a terrible thought. But you start to think, this better be worth it.
Yeah.
Which is awful.
I know what you're saying. It's human nature to be ticked off like that. And I also understand that you're not hoping for harm on anybody, for sure. But I don't think you're alone. At that point, you're like, this better be worth it. Like, if I'm 35 minutes late, like, this better be worth it. And you walk up there and there's like nothing wrong with the car. It's just, one little flat tire.
Mm-hmm. What the hell, man?
That could be frustrating.
Well, normally people will slow down and look.
Yeah.
And that's what sort of
what gets me is the other side
jam.
of the highway. So that really ticks me off is when I'm on my way somewhere and, usually always, like, not in a rush, but, you're up against it a little bit and everybody starts to slow down. And you're like, what the hell is everybody slowing down for? You got traffic on your side, and then you look over and the tow trucks and all that stuff are on the other side of the highway for an accident, and your side of the highway is to a crawl.
You're gawking.
Why?
Right.
Just go.
Just go.
Just go, man.
Just go, man.
That's what Jamie was saying.
Yeah, I texted you guys because we were just at a standstill. I'm like, guys, this is not good. Mike Ryder, I was texting Ryder too, right? I'm like, hey,
you should have heard what Mike Ryder was saying about you.
Well, he goes, Mike texted, this was, I think, like 1:15. He's like, you gonna make it by 2? I'm like, oh yeah, no problem there. Not a chance.
We had things to record. Ryder's. I don't want to speak for him, but boy, was he pissed.
I apologize to Mike Ryder, Jamie Rivers, Marsh, my kids, even though they weren't involved.
Anthony, it's just better preparation. And what I mean by that is you can get online. Our guy Millsy found accidents right away.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. He's like, you can get online before. It's preparation, Anthony. Find out where the traffic is, where the accidents are, and then you can be better.
It's a good thought. Just in life. Just be better.
Just
be better, be better prepared.
Yeah.
Be better overall.
All the above, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
So hypothetically, you pee your pants.
Yeah.
What store are you going to get new clothes? There's not a ton. There's not a ton.
I think there's a Kohl's.
There is a Kohl's
right
over
up
there.
the street.
There's a Kohl's there. But see, I would try to find somewhere where there's like even a garbage can, look inside to see if there's a cup or a bottle or a can, and be walking and be like, son of a, like.
That's a good call.
Like you just spilled everything on your lap.
Yeah.
Be like, look at the lady, be like, hey, where's the jeans?
Right.
And where's the trash?
Yeah.
Throw this stupid thing away.
Man, that coffee really smells like pee.
Well, lady, get your nose out of my crotch.
Yeah, that's rule number one. Jamie, that's really sensible, though.
Actually, now that you're down there, get a good whiff.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. Can the Blues return to being a top team in the next 3 years? We'll get to that next on 101 ESPN.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. Can the Blues return to being a top team in the next 3 years? Jamie, I imagine that's really predicated on guys like Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas and some of these young guys ascending even more than where they're at, right? I mean, that's the way to do it. Outside of having some of these bigger contracts expire or being able to move them and bringing in new pieces, to me, being able to compete at the top of your conference, it really depends on whether or not your young foundation comes into form here.
Yeah, so the guys that are currently on the roster that are going to be contributors are Thomas, Kyrou, Neighbors. I think those are the three young guys. Marcia, am I missing anybody as far as like young guys are concerned?
I guess if you want to throw Sammy Blais in that discussion, but if you look at the contract, he's not technically going to be with the team from a cap standpoint and the roster construction
I'm going to leave
standpoint.
him off just because I don't know. He's a bit of a wild card, and I don't really put him in that group of young guys. He's a little older than
maybe
those guys.
Toropchenko, if they want to keep him.
Toropchenko, but is he a difference maker like that? You know,
maybe not from a national standpoint. He could be for the Blues in a fourth line role, but I get what you're saying.
So if we isolate those three guys, Thomas and Kyrou already established NHLers that are point-of-game guys. I mean, that's what they are. Now, they need to take the next step, which is to get to the 90 or 100-point plateaus. You show me you can get to the point of game. That's great. Let's get to 90 now. Let's get to 100 points. Let's take those next steps because that's what we need. It's what you need. You absolutely need that to happen from Thomas and Kyrou. And Jake Neighbors, I've said this multiple times in the last week. He needs to become Ivan Barbashev. Get you that 15 to 20 goals a year. I know Barbie had 26 to 1 year, bit of an outlier. But, let's just say a 20-goal scorer. It means 18 to 22 goals, somewhere in there, depending on what year it is. Playing physical, good defensive play. I think those are fair expectations for a guy like Jake Neighbors. Where the Blues have to hit is on these young players. The ones that were drafted this year, so the Dvorskys of the world, and then your Jimmy Snuggerud and your Zach Bolduc, your Zach Dean. These guys have to be holding real roster spots in the next couple of years. And that will determine how your rebuild or your retool ends up falling. Because if Zachary Bolduc doesn't really make an impact, if Zach Dean is just a third/fourth liner, if you've got Jimmy Snuggerud, who's just a third liner, and then you've got Dvorsky, who knows where he ends up. It's still too early. Hopefully he ends up in your top 6 as far as your forwards are concerned. If that's the way it plays out, you got work to do. But if these guys keep trending in the right direction and Snuggerud and Bolduc and Dean are holding prominent positions in your lineup, somewhere, like if they're all top 9 forwards, meaning that they're playing second line, third line, I don't see any of those guys projecting to be a first line guy. It's still early, of course. There's lots of development that lies ahead for these guys. I do see Dvorsky being a first line type player, but that's 4 years down the road, probably 3 to 4 years down the road. So if all those guys hit and you add them into the current 3 guys that we highlighted, you got 7 young players now that establish your foundation. Do you know what that does, Anthony?
Well, it allows you to they're cost control players. A lot of them are cost control players. So it allows you roster flexibility within the cap to add veteran pieces to surround those young guys with.
Exactly. So the cap's going to go up, which is great. And then if you're able to move away from contracts like the Brandon Saad contract, not that he's not a good player, not that he's not worth the money, but his $5 million, if you replace that with $800,000, you've gained a lot of cap space. Plus the cap going up $4 or $5 million, that's almost $9 million in cap space that you've just, by doing nothing except putting a young player in instead of a veteran player. Now, the young player has to be able to contribute, at least in this case, Bolduc, Snuggerud, those 2 guys in particular probably have to contribute 15 to 20 goals, like each, because that's what Brendan saw. That's what he is. He's a 20-goal scorer. His career, his hockey card tells you, I score 20 goals. So you need that now. I don't think that's hard to replace. I don't think so. The way that, especially Snuggerud is projecting to be as a player, not the same style exactly as a Brandon Saad, but I believe the production could be there. Quite honestly, I think he could eclipse the overall production. I think he's more of a playmaker than Brandon Saad is, because Saad always ends up with like 35, 40 points-ish, but he scores 20 goals. So, but that's how you do it. That's why these young guys are so important, that they hit your lineup and they're able to make a difference and stay, because now you have an extra pool of money. And that was just one player in Brandon Saad. If there's other players on your roster that you're able to move away from because you found a young player to take their spot, you gain more cap space. Then you target guys that you want. If there's a $4 million player out there that can play in your top 6, or a guy that's a defenseman per se that you can drop into your lineup, that's where you do it. You're able to create your own cap space by the success of your young players.
So Jeremy Rutherford put together kind of he did this exercise. He's done this exercise a bunch now, but he did this at The Athletic. He's been doing it for several years. He put together kind of a look at what the roster could look like moving forward here. So of the forward groups, here's who will still be under contract, and he did so projecting for the next, I think, 3 years. Or next season, much less than 2025, 26. Let's see here. He, trying to see where he did it, 25. So who knows who might be playing in St. Louis in 25, 26 is what it is. All right, so forward groups. Jordan Kyrou, Robert Thomas, Braden Shen, Brandon Saad, and Kevin Hayes. Those are the players that will still be under contract in 25, 26. Then he said, here's who may or may not be re-signed. Pavel Buchnevich, Kapanen, Verana, Torpchenko, Blais, Neighbors, Alexandrov, Sundqvist, Walker, McEachern. Those are the players, again, who may not be re-signed, who may or may not be re-signed. And then here are the prospects who could be ready by then. Dvorsky, Snuggerud, some of the players you just talked about. Bolduc, Steinberg, and then Dean. And then he kind of went over some of the lines. And this is where it's kind of fun. It's
fun.
It's an exercise in like...
And JR does put in his piece that he's like, listen, like, work with me here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that these guys are going to be prominent players, all of them at the same time.
Again, it's meant to be fun. It's an off-season project. But I am interested in your thoughts on this, Jamie. So his lines included Buchnevich, Thomas, and Kyrou, Shen, Dvorsky, Snuggerud, Neighbors, Dean, Bolduc, Torpchenko, Alexandrov, Blais. Those were his lines.
Yeah, listen, in a perfect world, that's what you've got. That lineup will never look that way. It just, the timing doesn't always work.
Sure.
And to have your second line be Dvorsky, Snuggerud, and Braden Shen, I mean, you're telling me that Dvorsky and Snuggerud are going to have incredible development over the next couple of seasons. Maybe one of them. I doubt both of them. It doesn't mean they won't get to be a second-line player at some point. It's just that it takes some time. It takes some time. Look at Jordan Kyrou. Like, he's a point-a-game player. It took him, 2-3 years before he even stayed in the National Hockey League full-time.
Yeah.
Then he went on to have a massive year, and, now he's off and running. But still, it's like 3 years to get him there. So for Jimmy Snuggerud still playing college hockey, and Dvorsky's still playing over in Sweden, but he's of junior hockey age, you're expecting a lot out of a 21 or 22-year-old at that point. Right. So I think patience is the biggest thing here. But this is why it's important that you get one of these guys or even two of them just in your lineup, create that cap space, and then you go get bridge players. You go get guys that can play for you for a year and just take it one more year down the line while there's development and hopefully at a good cap hit.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here's the defenseman. Here's who will be under contract still in 25-26. Justin Falk, Torrey Krug, Colton Parayko, Nick Leddy. So your top 5 guys are locked in moving forward here too. So this is going to be the group. They got to figure out. They got to iron out the issues that they had a year ago, get back to where they were 2 years ago. I mean, that's just as simple as we can make it. Because you're not going to be able to move on from these guys. They're here.
No, not unless they let you move on from them.
Right. So who may or may not be re-signed? Scandella, Bertuzzo, Tucker, Perunovic, and Calle Rosen. Those were the guys that were listed there. And then some of the prospects that, we've talked about. But the pairs he has are either a UFA or trade to go along with Colton Parayko, Scott Perunovic and Justin Falk, Tyler Tucker, and then some combination of Matt Kessel, UFA or trade.
Yeah. The defense is going to be a little trickier. I don't know how you're moving on from, I don't know where Torrey Krug went in that lineup because he's not going anywhere, and he's shown you that he's not going anywhere unless he agrees to it. So I don't know where he went. And Nick Leddy, I believe, would still be in his last year at that point. Where did Nick Leddy go? So I understand what JR is doing there, and I totally agree that that's probably the scenario that would have to happen, but I just don't know if it's going to work out identical to that. Best case scenario for your blue line is that these guys just play to their ability.
Yeah.
That's it. Just play to your ability. And half the problem solved at that point. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what Army's looking forward to this year. You got a new defense coach. Not that he knows more or anything different than Mike Van Ryn, because Mike Van Ryn's a hell of a hockey coach. He's a Stanley Cup champion hockey coach. but you brought in somebody new. Maybe it reinvigorates some guys. Maybe he connects in a different way. Maybe he has suggestions that are new. Whatever it is, you need to somehow re-energize the core group of your defense and make sure they're playing to their potential. If they do that, you can then go and tinker with the Perunovic experiment, the Tucker, another young defenseman, or a trade or a free agent. You can start kind of tinkering a little bit then, but you're not going to be able to do anything unless those guys, one, play really good and you're able to continue to winning, or they agree to a trade.
Yeah.
Which, again, Torrey Krug already enforced his no trade and said, no, thank you. So best case scenario is they play to their potential.
Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Let's talk about the Cardinals coming off the taking 2 of 3 against the Rays. 9 games back of the final wild card spot, and 11 out of first place with KC, Oakland, New York Mets, and Pittsburgh coming up before they play the Phillies and Padres, who are battling for a wild card spot. Clearly, Andrew Marsh answered the text last night, and now we're going to talk about it. Again, he's answering the text from the Cardinals. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Always is.
We should catch up sometime.
3 o'clock, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. With Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter, and Andrew Marsh must have gotten a text last night.
Oh, yeah.
Stop it.
You know he answered that thing, too.
Stop it.
Silly kid.
Got a text from the Cards. Card said, hey, I don't know if you saw what we did in Tampa, but you up? And I think Marsh, if I know Marsh, he just texted back, #always.
You know I am.
Or an always and forever, maybe.
Oh, wow. Do you think he went forever or the number 4 ever?
The number 4 than ever.
Yeah, I agree.
He's part of a younger generation that doesn't want to spell anything out. I mean, not even thanks. It's just THX. You know? So, Marsh, with the Cardinals 11 games out of first place in the NL Central, why are you answering the text?
I didn't answer the text, gentlemen.
Well, talk to us.
Yeah.
What happened?
Get it out there.
I simply saw the text, and it made me wonder, why are they texting me? Are they about to do something cool?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Are they trying to...
What would be cool? Like bringing up Mason Wynn? Because Mo has already said
really
that
cool.
He doesn't believe in him.
Mo said that guy's hot garbage. He won't be here this year.
Are they sending me Throwback Thursday pictures from maybe over a decade ago when me and that organization were really tight? And we did some magical things?
Yeah.
Maybe. It's an interesting text for sure.
Did you answer the text?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
There's no reason to.
No, but
first of all,
it's always interesting when they do text.
First of all, we know
bring
you
it up.
answered. Second of all, what are your thoughts? What's got you thinking this way, Marshy? What in particular about the Cardinals and maybe their season has you thinking this way again?
Is it like the youth? You know, Dakota Hudson, even though he's 28, he's pitched well.
Yeah.
Matthew Liberatore pitched well last night. Is it the youth that's kind of this is kind of intriguing now?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's like a Leonardo DiCaprio thing where I'm very intrigued with some of the pitchers that are under 25 years old.
Sure.
And they're very promising.
It's the DiCaprio effect.
Yeah. It's almost like the Cardinals got a haircut and then sent Marsh a pick.
I think I did get really
Like, look, I've changed.
Totally changed.
My look.
I got excited when I see Nolan Arenado stealing bases and going from first to home. That gets me excited. But then, are they going to let me down again? They have the Kansas City Royals.
Here we go.
They have
I knew
the
this was
Oakland
coming.
Athletics, the New York Mets, who are just in shambles right now, and I find it very funny. Then you have the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then you have two teams that are also in the wild card mix, and maybe you can gain some ground on them too. We've seen it happen before, Anthony, but I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but it's just a thought.
Jamie, do you know how I know Marsh is slowly going back to the Cardinals? Do you know how I know?
How?
The schedule.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's a dead giveaway.
He's looking ahead to the schedule.
Yeah. He had it all pulled up in the office there and going through and checking out like who's pitching what game, and he's like, you know what? It's not crazy. I'm like, you bite your tongue. It is crazy.
So he's looking at the schedule. He's looking at like future dates, basically.
Oh yeah, he's putting some time aside for them.
Yeah, he's saying Kansas City, Oakland, the Mets, Pittsburgh, and he's allowing himself to dream again.
That's such a toxic relationship.
It is.
It's terrible.
And I know you're fighting us right now. You think that we're coming down on you because of this, Marsh.
I think you're more of like a therapist.
Yeah, we're trying to help.
Trying to help.
I've made mistakes in my time.
For sure.
And I'm trying to help you not make those same mistakes.
Yeah.
So I guess what we're saying to you is it doesn't really matter who's on the schedule, Marsh. It doesn't matter where the Cardinals bring you over the weekend. It's not real. And it hasn't been this year. Now, in the past, it was. But this year, specifically, it's toxic. They don't actually love you. They have proven that. Jamie, he's got to hear this.
It's a little harsh.
He's got to hear this.
It's a little harsh.
They haven't actually loved you this year, Marsh. And they've been pretty adamant about that.
They stopped loving me?
You got for 1 year, maybe. Maybe they'll.
Some people think that.
Maybe they'll change their ways.
Well, some people think that they're just not going to love me for a few years now.
They might. They might not.
And they haven't loved me for a while. They've just been faking it. And they've been going through the motions, which isn't fair to me or them.
No, it certainly isn't. No. But to some degree, I think that's what happens. So when you start to think about the plans this weekend, in Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Or plans next week, and you're lining things up, and you're excited about the possibilities again.
Yeah.
Just realize this is all a mirage. It's not real. And you know what? You shouldn't settle for breadcrumbs either. You shouldn't. They just give you just a little bit, you know?
They give you a little nibble.
They give you. They won 2 out of 3 in Tampa. You deserve more than that, Marsh.
Good team.
What?
It's just a little nibble.
That's
all it is.
celebration worthy, Anthony.
They're 51-65, Jamie.
Well, that's not.
Winning 2 out of 3 in Tampa, you deserve more than that, Marsh. So what they're basically telling you is, hey, don't you appreciate us? We won 2 of 3 in Tampa. Don't you appreciate us? You got to look at the entire body of work and tell them to go straight to hell.
Okay, so no, you're not wrong. However, Marshy, let's dive into this, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
From a very serious standpoint. Walk me down why you think this is possible. Because you said, oh, well, the schedule. So walk me through it. Because do you really think, like, let's pull up the schedule here for a second. How many games do you think, if I'm trying to find my Cardinals here, first of all, how many series do you think that they can win that are lying ahead of them over the next, 12 games?
I don't even think it's about series at this point. Don't they have to win basically 17 in a row?
Anthony, we have to start somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, we have to start somewhere. And it's illogical to think that the Cardinals are going to just run off 12 wins in a row. It's just not going to happen.
And I don't even believe that.
It's not going to happen.
I realize that, but where we are right now in the schedule, I mean, in the season, you're going to have to if Marsh is going to rekindle his love again.
So let's say, just to get close to the pin here.
Yeah.
They got 2 games against Kansas City, right? Today and tomorrow. Do they win both games, Marshy, or do they split? Or do they lose both? Like, walk me through here. We're going to go through this series by series for the next 12 games.
Why don't they play on Sunday?
Not allowed to.
That
in
is
Kansas
very
City.
weird.
It's a really weird rule.
It's Patrick Mahomes' day.
Yeah. They don't ever play on Sundays.
Is starting up. It's Patrick Mahomes' day on Sunday.
They all play on Sundays.
Even when it's not the NFL regular season, he's
You
still.
just squirreled our guy here.
I did?
Yeah. Squirrel. I asked him how many games they're going to win, and now you got him talking about Sunday.
Oh, my bad.
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
I think they're going to split with Kansas City.
Okay, so that's one.
I'm not going to say which game they're going to win.
It's fine.
I already know what you're thinking based on the pitching matchups.
Yeah,
I already know.
So let's fast forward.
Don't be putting words in my mouth.
to Oakland. They play 3 games against the A's. Where are you at with that series?
I think they should win all 3. There's a possibility they don't. This could be a revenge game for the 6-1 hate, as he was traded to Oakland. And we saw what Matthew Liberatore did last night to his former organization.
Mm-hmm.
So that could actually be a toss-up.
Well, I need a number because we're doing math here.
Let's say 2 out of 3.
So 2 out of 3. So now we're at 3 overall wins. The New York Mets, they have been a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
You got 4 against the Mets.
Sounds like you're going 2-2 against them.
2-2. Okay, so now we're... And then the last series we're going to highlight here is the Pirates. You got 3 against the Pirates.
I think they sweep them.
Sweep them. Okay, so the grand total here over the next 12 games is, to our guy Marshy, is 8 wins. 8 out of 12 wins. I don't know where that puts them in the standings, but then life gets a little more difficult. You got Phillies, the Padres, who haven't been great. You got the Braves.
Well, let's not go
Orioles.
that far now.
No, I'm just saying. Like,
No, let's not go that far.
if we're looking at schedules, we
I
have
don't
to
want to
look
look
at
that
it.
far. That's not part of the narrative.
We have to look at it. So Wayno's on the bump tonight, right?
Yes.
What do you guys think? Does he get to 199? Okay.
What's that?
It's telling.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they play the Royals. It's weird.
They're
though.
in Kansas City. It's a great rivalry.
It's weird that they're only playing the Royals 2 days, you know, and they don't play Sunday. I agree with what you're saying, what you asked, Jamie.
You know what? Maybe tonight is the vision. I don't want to go that far.
Anthony, here's the text that I know you were waiting for. Says, remember at this time in 2011, everyone counted out the Cardinals, and they are now your 2011 World Series champions. It could happen.
Lineup's out. We'll play a lineup game next on 101 ESPN. play the lineup game here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Don't forget, we still have some Bud Bash tickets to give away as well. We'll give those away at some point during the show. With Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Cardinals start a new series against the Royals. Only a 2-game set for no apparent reason. Doesn't make any sense.
What?
Adam Wainwright will oppose Dylan Coleman, but I think it's going to be a bullpen game for Kansas City tonight.
Wow, that's presumptuous. What?
Yeah, you're right. That's on me. Dylan Coleman's a right-hander,
Yeah.
Jamie. I think we're grinding early.
Oh, yeah, grinding early and often. Show us Lars, Taylor, Tatsui, Newtbar.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm grinding.
All right. I think that this is Paul Goldschmidt.
What's the big fundy? Show us Yukon Goldschmidt.
Gold! Rich with gold! Gold!
All right.
Okay, this has been Nolan Arenado. This has been Wilson Contreras. This has been Nolan Gorman.
Yesterday was Gorman, right?
Yesterday was Gorman.
I don't think they mess with that. But every time I say that, Ollie does something that's different. I don't freaking know anymore. I would say Nolan Gorman. That's just me.
Wait, was it Gorman yesterday in this spot?
Yeah. Gorman.
Yeah, Gorman, then Arenado.
I
Yep,
keep
I'm with
all
you.
the notes, Anthony. I know every damn lineup we've had this year.
August 7th.
I don't have it in this book. That was a long time ago. I keep the notepads in the office. You know I do.
Yeah, I do. All right. Gorman?
That would be my vote, yes.
Show us Nolan Gorman.
No.
Oh, it's just got to be Motter here. The Saviors at number 3.
I think it's
Sorry, Taylor.
Arenado then.
Yeah, sure.
I want to see you energized by this and excited about it.
Mad.
Why?
Because I want a Gorman in there.
Okay.
Anyways.
Well, maybe Gorman is the cleanup hitter.
I doubt that. Oh, he's into that.
Jamie's going to clean up his attitude real quick. I know him too. He will. He'll bounce back quickly.
All right, just go.
Show us Nolan Arenado.
Nolan is a security guard at the lumber yard.
I don't think Gorman's playing at this point. I think this is going to be Contreras.
Okay. All right. I'm in.
And I don't know why you wouldn't play Gorman. I just don't know why. You put Motter at second base. Watch this.
Boy, you have gone down a
I'm
dark
pissy.
path in the last 30 seconds.
Because here's why, Anthony. I'm just going to voice my displeasure for a minute here.
I'll listen.
Ollie makes comments about how can I look at Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, and knowing that I'm just playing guys and not playing to win. And that's why Jordan Walker comes out in the 7th, but then all of a sudden Taylor Motter's in the lineup for somebody else.
Yeah.
He doesn't pinch hit on Taylor Motter with the game on the line. Okay, fine. Then Tyler O'Neill just gets to play whenever the hell he wants. And but how can I look these guys in the eye? And now Nolan Gorman's out of the lineup. Then you put Taylor Motter at second base.
Yeah.
It doesn't jive.
I think that's understandable. I think you have a right to be frustrated by this.
I am.
I hear you. And I value your opinion.
Quit saying bad things. Try to cheer people up. We're listening to the radio trying to be cheered up.
Janet, I'm just trying to be realistic here. I'm just voicing my displeasure.
Jamie, you have been very frustrated about Gorman not being in the three hole, and you don't think that he's cleanup.
No,
I'm going to show you faith, and I'm going to show Ollie faith by predicting that this is Nolan Gorman. But I need you to be with me on this.
All right.
Are you with me, or do you want to go with Wilson Contreras?
I'm with you. Fine.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate your belief.
Okay.
Please show us Stormin, Norman, Nolan, Gorman.
There's a storm coming out.
Yeah! Sometimes you got to have a little faith. Sometimes you got to believe. Yes.
Wow.
All right, now this is Contreras because Big Willie style was out yesterday.
No way.
Now
His
we're
daddy
rolling.
hit a bomb.
Now we're rolling,
Kid's
Jamie.
not coming out.
Okay.
Sure, it's Big Willie.
Show us Wilson Contreras, please.
This one goes out to all the big willies.
Wilson, are you naked? No, Tim, I'm wearing a hat.
All right, so this could be Tyler O'Neill. This could be Jordan Walker. This could be Alec Burleson.
It's probably Tyler O'Neill.
Yesterday was Burleson, but only because
wait.
Wilson Contreras was out and Tyler O'Neill was hitting
It's
fifth.
Kansas City turf or grass?
Grass.
Oh, it's Tyler O'Neill.
Okay. Go ahead.
Show us Tyler O'Neill.
Okay. I don't know. That was outstanding. I love your sleuth work there. Nice job.
Yeah. Well, he's told us he won't play on turf, basically.
Basically.
He's Andre Dawson all of a sudden. Do you remember Andre Dawson?
Oh, yeah.
He had to be traded from the Expos.
The Hawk?
Because they played on turf and his knees were too sore.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Then he went on to just punish baseballs in
Yeah, for the
Chicago
Cubs.
with the Cubs. And
Yeah.
then I forget where he ended up. Somewhere else after that, too.
Dawson?
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep. All right.
Okay. All right. So this could be Jordan Walker. This could be Burleson. I think it's either Walker or Burleson. Those are my predictions.
My educated guess would be Jordan Walker.
Let's do it.
Show us Jordan Walker.
You are so wrong.
Janet's
Then I think
picking on me today.
yeah, she is.
I don't know why. I love Janet.
She usually loves you. I think she loves you. Period.
It's just being difficult today.
My other guess is Burleson. May I?
Yeah.
Show us Alec Burleson.
Some lefty on lefty magic from a guy like Nolan Gorman who's hitting near you in the lineup.
What? All right, so we got 1, 2. We have potentially 3 outfielders, but if one of those guys is a DH, then we'd still need an outfielder, and then that would be Walker.
Yeah, I say
And Walker wasn't in the lineup last night. He's got to be. This has got to
Burley
be
is
Walker.
DHing is my prediction.
Show us Jordan Walker.
Walk it like it's hard. Walk it like it's hard.
And this is Knizner.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. No. They have no shortstop. It's got to be Tommy Edman or Taylor Motter.
Show us Tommy Edman. Let's not get crazy here.
Tommy want wingy.
Helen? Is that her name? All right. Marsh, run it for us.
Before I run it, I have to apologize. Nolan Gorman did not get a base hit last night, but I knew it was such an important decision between you two that he deserved the sounder today.
Okay, yeah. Good.
So,
good spin ride on that.
Yeah.
All right, leading
Appreciate
off.
the disclaimer, too.
Absolutely. Leading off for the Cards tonight against the Kansas City Royals, center fielder Lars Taylor Tattooey Newbar. Batting second, the DH, Paul Goldschmidt. Batting third baseman, Nolan Arenado. The cleanup hitter, second baseman, Nolan Gorman. Batting fifth, catching, Wilson Contreras. Batting sixth in left field, Tyler O'Neill. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Alec Burleson. Batting eighth in right, Jordan Walker. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Tommy Edman.
Back. Stay fair! Stay fair!
Go foul, go foul!
I don't believe what I just saw!
Home run.
All right. Nobody had Kiz Daddy last night, so...
Where did he hit the snot out of that?
Yeah, he did.
Probably should be in the lineup.
Hall of Fame.
I was just about to say that.
His numbers.
I was about to say, he should probably be in the Hall.
His numbers since the All-Star break.
They're very good.
Incredible. Now, his plate appearances are a lot less than some of the other guys.
It's a small sample size.
It is a small sample size, but
impressive nevertheless.
He's taking advantage of it because a small sample size he could also be hitting 138 too.
It has happened.
It has happened before. Marsh, are we still? So I'm still one behind Jamie.
Yeah, you're still one behind Jamie. So Jamie has the. He's the leader in the clubhouse.
All right, go ahead, Jamie.
I don't even know.
Don't give up.
I'm not giving up.
I feel like you're. Jamie, I think that, first of all, you're doing a great job. Second of all,
that's like when you argue with your wife or your girlfriend. First of all, you know I love you. Set the table here. However,
first of all, yeah, it's usually the other side of that.
Of course.
First of all, honey, I think you're a good dad. Right? You're never a good husband. You're a good dad.
You're an excellent father.
You work hard.
You try really hard.
But boy, you're just an idiot when it comes to anything involving good decision making. All right, go ahead, Jamie.
All right, I think the Newt gets a lead-off home run today.
Newt, there it is. All right, Newt is off the board. Marshy.
I'm going to go with Alec Burleson.
Okay. And I am going to go with, because Jamie left him and he never leaves him, I'm going to go with Nolan Gorman. Hitting cleanup. Oh, Stormin Norman Nolan Gorman. That's what I'm going to go with. Because it's a rarity that Jamie leaves him on the table. So
he's let me down a little bit recently.
Has he let you down, or have you let him down?
No, I keep picking him. So, by the way, Andre Dawson finished his career with the Florida Marlins.
Ah, that's right. Okay, good stuff. Thank you, Tex Line.
The Hawk.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN NFL Bowl. No, Matt Holliday's next. We got our guy Matt Holliday next. So we'll talk to him about the Cardinal Alleys and who knows, man. We love having Matt Holliday on. You never know. You never know what we could get into. Next with the Cardinals Hall of Famer here on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cards get a win last night over the Tampa Bay Rays. Final score 5-2. They take 2 of 3 in Tampa. Matthew Liberatore went 8 innings, gave up 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, had 7 strikeouts on the night. Adam Wainwright on the mound tonight going for win 199, taking on Dylan Coleman against the Kansas City Royals. First pitch is at 7:10. We are joined by Matt Holliday right here in the Fast Lane, so stay tuned. That's coming your way next right here on 101 ESPN. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Now batting for the Fast Lane, Cardinals Hall of Famer and 5th member, Matt Holliday. We're hanging with Holliday on 101 ESPN.
Powered by Air Alliance Team Heating and Cooling. Getting the job done quickly, correctly, 100% of the time.
Sounds like Jamie's got something good in his system.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, DJ Marshy Marsh spinning a pretty good one for our guy Matt Holliday, who joins us via our celebrity line here on 101 ESPN. What's up, Matt?
Hey guys, how we doing?
Doing good. Did you have an opportunity to hear the tune that he spun you?
I know. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I'm ready. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, you're fired up. I can feel it. I can feel it through the through the headphones. Matt, how's Jackson doing?
He's doing good. He's doing good. He had a little bit of he got the COVID situation, so he missed a week where apparently there's still protocol going on. So he missed a week, but then I think he's been back 4 or 5 games and doing well. He's playing well, and he's pushing. He's pushing. I don't think. I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say he doesn't get called up this year, but he's sure making it interesting for next year. But he's had a great season so far and needs to finish strong.
Matt, I personally was a little disappointed that Jackson wasn't headed over here in that trade. When I saw that Flaherty was headed to the Orioles, I was like, yes, Jackson's coming back, baby. I know I'm crazy, but no, yeah. It's great to hear that he's doing well. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. From a development standpoint, from when he was drafted to where he is now, he's got to be way ahead of schedule, no?
Yeah, I mean, his goal was to get to AA this year, which when he stated that goal, I was like, wow, that's a big goal, for him to get all the way to AA at 19. But he's done it, and he's playing really well in AA, and I think he's pretty happy with how it's gone. But yeah, to be in AA at 19 and to be having success, and I think for him, I think all these different publications have him ranked as the number 1 prospect in baseball. It's been a really, really positive year for him, and he's put himself in a really good position moving forward. So the way the Orioles are playing and a lot of the young players they have coming, it's an exciting time for the Orioles. They really have put themselves in a really good position for the next foreseeable future.
Before we transition to the Cardinals, Matt, I do want to ask you. So if I asked you to put
I'd rather talk about Jackson, quite honestly.
Yeah, it's fine. We can go 15 minutes on Jackson. Matt, if I could ask you to take off the dad hat and put on your scout hat, what is it about Jackson at 19 that is just clicking for him? Which is, this is a very difficult game to play, as you know. What is it about your son that he's thus far he's been able to make that transition from high school to minor league ball seamless?
Yeah, I think it's a few things. I mean, I think obviously growing up in the environment has allowed him to kind of know what to expect as far as the schedule goes, and how to be a professional and how to take care of yourself and the grind of the day-to-day of what it takes, to show up every day and play at the top of your ability. I think he had an insight onto what that looked like. But I think from just a sort of baseball side of it, he's got a very a swing that's very repeatable. He understands it. He gets ready on time, so he's really early in his load. His leg kick is really nice and easy and early, which allows him to see the ball really well, which allows him to walk a lot. And doesn't the pitching. He can slow pitches down, as we know, because he's nice and easy and gets ready. And so I think there's a lot of things, Anthony. I think he's part of his demeanor is he's very calm and he doesn't get too high and he doesn't get too low, which is obviously a very healthy demeanor for baseball. So I think that bodes well for him and now and into the future. And he has a lot of tools. Like he can really run, so he can, even when he's not smashing balls, he can find hits, and he gets on base with walks, and he plays really good defense, and he's very instinctual on the bases. So he's got a lot of ability to affect the game in a lot of different ways, not just hitting. So when you're not, maybe your swing doesn't feel great, he can still do a lot of things that help the team win. So he's fun to watch play, and I'm excited to get to see what his career is going to look like as it unfolds.
Matt, how's life away from the field for him going? Because I remember at 19 years old and, off playing pro hockey and doing these things, like life comes at you fast. And, I don't understand. I don't know how it works in baseball. Is he living on his own where he's at right now? And if so, how's he navigating that? And how is he managing being an adult, living in the big boy world?
Yeah, he's doing really well with it. I mean, I think that every kid that age has some homesickness throughout the time. But the really cool thing, I think that he's made really quick friendships with a lot of the guys that he got drafted with last year. And so even though he's jumped levels a couple different times, so have some of the guys that he got drafted with last year that he's really bonded with. So having buddies, as you know, and guys that you look forward to seeing at the field. Makes it more fun. It makes it easier. They take care of their living nowadays, which makes it easy. So when you get called up, there's no stress to it. Your personal stuff and get in your car and on to the next city, and they have an apartment waiting for you. And usually you have a roommate. This time around he doesn't right now, but you never know, as guys come and go, what that looks like. But he's handled it really well. They're typically at home a week, and then they're on the road a week, and we try to get out to see him. We've seen him 3 or 4 times for 3 or 4 days at a time, and make sure that we don't go too long without getting up there and just letting him make him a couple meals and get his siblings around and make him feel like he's back at home, especially these first couple of years where he's still 19 years old. But I think he's handled it really well, Jamie, and loves baseball, and I think that's the most important thing. He loves to practice baseball. That's where you spend most of your time. You get to the field around 2, and you come home around 10:30, and so a lot of your time is spent at the ballpark, and that's something he's really comfortable with and loves to be doing. So it's been pretty seamless so far.
Matt, I know a lot of kids, sometimes don't want to hear from mom and dad or, things like that. So I personally like to offer my number up to Jackson if he has any questions or, anything he wants to know. I can completely outline in detail what he should not be doing. So I'm a very good resource for him.
I will pass it along, just to make sure that if I can't help, I've got somebody for him. So
I got you. Don't worry about it.
I will pass it along.
Sometimes, Matt, it's good to have both the positive impact in a young man's life and also what could go wrong, in somebody like Jamie presenting.
I could just say, hey, let me get here. Call Jamie and see if that's a good idea, and then let me know what he says.
Exactly. Matt Holliday joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Matt, I don't know how much you've had an opportunity to watch recently with the Cardinals. I mean, it's a losing season, so we don't,
You just won a series, Anthony. Come on.
Okay.
Positive, please.
From what you have seen out of Matthew Liberatore, I know a lot of fans are anxious to know whether or not he can kind of turn the page here and be a full-time starter at the big league level. From what you have seen, do you think he's got the skill set to at the very least be a back end of the rotation starter?
Yeah. I do. I think it's, to me, the tools are, it's all about, at some point, it's all about, the brain matching up with the ability. And I don't know him very well, so I'm just saying I think the consistency is really what's missing, because you'll have a game like last night where, he's commanding 3 pitches and getting a really good team and just kind of handling them easily for I think, he pitched 7 or 8 innings.
Yeah.
And so it's obviously there. I think having guys like Waino and some of the older pitchers on staff to help him maybe develop that consistency is important. But the difference between being a situational lefty and a starter, even a 2 or a 3 or 4 or 5, at the big league level is can you consistently go out there and give your team a chance to win? Can you go out there and if you don't have a certain pitch, can you rely on the 2 other pitches and can you figure out a way to get through 5 or 6 innings with, 1 or 2 and maybe 3 runs? And so you just go out there and give your team a chance to win. That's what makes you a starter on a good team. Now, could you just plug him in on a bad team and let him start? Sure. But I think the consistency for me is what's going to decide whether or not he is a long-term solution in the rotation or not.
Matt, you got a young guy like Jordan Walker. For all intents and purposes, it's been a very good year for Jordan Walker. I don't think anybody predicted him to break camp and be with the Cardinals and then contribute as much as he has. Now, the reality of it is that defensively he's got work to do, which is quite normal for a young player jumping that fast to the majors. But, Ollie tends to take him out in close games towards the seventh inning to put the best defensive lineup he can out there, which is fine. Totally understand that. But for the young player, when's the right time to start letting him, stay in the game? As a coach, as a guy that's played, especially a guy's played the outfield too, when's the right time to kind of let this player kind of sink or swim?
Yeah, I think that this year, and I know that, nobody's willing to just completely throw in the towel, but I think this year is a year where you can start to do that. I think that the one thing with this year's team is you have so many outfielders that you're trying to keep them all sort of in the mix. And so, I don't know Tyler O'Neill's extent of, his availability, but when you have Nootbaar and Carlson and O'Neill and, they're playing some other guys in the outfield, when you have all these guys and you're trying to keep them all involved and happy, I think that might be part of, Ollie's plan to keep guys in the game and maybe get them in a bat here or there late that bring better defense. But I do think that, Walker, I think next year for sure, you spend the whole offseason sort of, hammering home on the fundamentals of defense and making sure he's comfortable and remembering that he's 21 years old and made a position change. And so I think that next year for me, for sure, would be like, hey, look, you're our right fielder and you're going to be in there and we're going to live and die with you out there for the whole game. Obviously you give him some breaks here or there if it makes sense, but I don't mind it, Jamie, right now when you got a bunch of guys that you're trying to work in to get guy in at bat here or there and maybe improve your defense to win a game. But I do think within the next year, I think that's something that you got to start showing confidence and you start establishing the fact that this is one of our cornerstone players and he's in there and we need him in there for all 9.
Matt, great stuff as always. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you again next week. Have a great weekend.
Okay, guys. Thanks. See you guys.
See you.
Have a good one, buddy.
That's World Series champion Matt Holliday, Cardinals Hall of Famer. Great stuff as always. It's fun to listen to him talk about Jackson Holliday too.
I wasn't even being facetious. I could have easily talked the entire time about the process here for Jackson and then the next Holliday coming up too.
Yeah.
Because it's intriguing. Yeah, I think it's Ethan. I didn't want to say the wrong name, but it's intriguing to me because I know what my path looked like, and I know what the hockey path looks like, but I have no idea about the baseball path, how that works. Because you got high school players, you got college players. They're both, if you're a late bloomer, the college player, or you elect to go to college, you're coming into AA, AAA at a different age, a different level. At 18, 19, this kid's playing AA ball. It's a whole big world. That's why I didn't know if he lived with somebody in wherever he's at in AA ball right now. But it's right. They get called up, they get moved around, so the team has apartments for them. We never had that.
Yeah.
You get sent down to the minors, you get your own damn apartment. You're paying for that sucker.
Right.
If you get called up, well, don't worry, you're paying for it with NHL money, so you'll be okay, even though you're not there.
Yeah.
Because the NHL provides you with a hotel room up here for 28 days. Then they have to tell you to either get a house to live in, or they send you back down to the minors. If they tell you to get a place, then they'll cover one of the rents. And it's usually the most expensive, which is nice because then they'll cover your rent up in the NHL while you're paying your rent down the minors, which obviously you're not living in the same accommodations.
Sure.
So all of that intrigues me. And we got a guy like Matt who his son is going through it. It's fun for me. I love that stuff.
That's Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. What does Andrew Knizner's role look like moving forward? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter.
I mean, he was untouchable tonight. That was about as good as you can pitch, but that's how he can pitch every night. And, we talked before the game, and I told him, I said, dude, your stuff is elite. Just challenge these hitters. Do whatever you can, challenge these guys, get strike one, go right after him, trust your stuff. And he did that tonight. I mean, he was unhittable and mixing pitches. Can't say enough. That was outstanding.
First pitch swing, fly ball well hit left. Arozarena sprinting to the track to the wall. That ball is gone. Knizner ambushed him. It's 2-0 Cardinals.
See the ball and hit the ball. As simple as it sounds, that's what I'm doing, trying to see good pitches to hit and hit through that baseball as hard as I can. So, like I said, keep it simple and drive through the middle of the field.
Andrew Knizner talking about Matthew Liberatore. Then you heard Chip Carey from Bally Sports Midwest. And then Andrew Knizner talking about his home run from last night. He stole him and Matthew Liberatore, man, they stole the show last night. With Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Jamie, what do you do about Andrew Knizner? What do you do about his role, not necessarily this year, but next year, knowing that you also have Ivan Herrera possibly in the mix?
Yeah. This is tough because Andrew Knizner's so well respected in that clubhouse.
Yeah.
So much so that, he's the measuring stick as far as how hard you should be working as a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's on the field or off the field, or the video, in the meetings, he's the measuring stick. So what do you do with that? Because Herrera came up and played very well. Quite honestly, he showed very well for the Cardinals. And Contreras is exactly what you wanted him to be. He is.
Yeah.
Like, his stats, his offensive numbers are exactly what you wanted from him. The defensive metrics are in and around everything he's always been as a player. So Contreras is literally the back of his baseball card. Now, it may not be up to your standards, the Cardinal way, but this is what you friggin' signed.
Yeah.
And now you got Knizner, who is mashing. Offensively, one of the most dominant players
in ever, Bob.
No, since the All-Star break, I believe. And we know how hard he works and how well he calls the game. And listening to him talk like that reminded me of Mike Matheny. We had Mike Matheny on here the one time promoting the home run derby out at the O'Fallon Hoots. Mike Matheny was talking about that. He's like, you're half, catcher, half psychologist.
Yeah.
You get in there and, you take the blame. I shouldn't have called that pitch. But then you tell the player, the pitcher, what he's doing. Well, hearing Andrew Knizner talk about your stuff is just nasty. Trust it. Get up, get it, strike.
Yeah.
I was like, this is Mike Matheny.
Right.
Which, that's a hell of an honor to be compared to a guy that played as well as Mike Matheny did as a catcher. So, Anthony, to answer your question, I don't know what the hell you do with Andrew Knizner.
Right.
Because his trade value is not there.
Right.
Because, again, sometimes you're more valuable to the team that has you than anybody else. But you can't have three catchers next year. At some point, you got to move Herrera up the food chain. But is he ever going to challenge for the number one spot? Not for the next 4 years, he's not. Because Contreras is in the way.
Right.
I mean that just, I'm not being mean to Contreras because I've been a Contreras supporter all year long.
Yeah.
That, to me, it's not his fault that you're in this position. So what do? I think you might trade Herrera. I know it sounds crazy, but you'll get more for Herrera than you would Knizner.
Yeah, you would. Boy, what a mess.
It is. It's a mess. Like most times teams are like, well, it's a good problem to have. No, it's not. This one isn't. Because Knizner's clearly your best catcher right now, as far as calling the game and all that stuff. He's your best catcher. But he's your lowest in your rankings because Herrera's age and his ability to what he could be.
And you can't carry three guys next year.
And you're not getting rid of $87.5 million.
No. And for right now, you're not moving Contreras to DH solely.
You can't.
So
you cannot.
You're once again in a hell of your own making.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Jamie. Ivan Herrera would have the top trade value.
Out of all three guys, believe it or not, he'd get you the most because nobody's taken on that monstrosity of a contract for
Knizner's 28. Yeah, he'll be 29 next year. He kind of is what he is.
Quite honestly, I would extend Knizner small dollar amount, like a little bump.
You don't even have to. He's got 2 years left of arbitration.
Oh, okay. Then perfect.
Yeah.
I would hang on to Knizner because I know what I have there. I have the ultimate safety net that the entire team loves, that the entire team respects.
Yeah.
Heck, they call him the captain. I know it's a little bit like being funny, but no, he's that important.
You're the captain.
I would hang on to Knizner for the next couple of years. I don't know if you're even able to slow play Herrera for 2 more years.
Oh.
Probably not, but he's only 21, I believe.
No, he's older than that, isn't he?
I don't know.
I don't know. You and I are terrible with birthdays.
I think he's like 21 or 22 years old.
Remember we said Dak was 25?
Yeah, that was really bad. You really messed that one up.
Okay.
Andrew Knizner's 28.
Yeah.
He's older than me.
No,
we're talking
not
about
talking
Herrera.
about that. We're talking about Herrera.
Oh.
Herrera's 21.
Welcome to the conversation, though, Andrew. I appreciate it.
He's doing a lot of stuff over there, Jamie. He's doing a lot of stuff. He's looking at all kinds of stuff.
He's got
Jamie, get off his back.
Go on playing over there. You're playing Pokemon Go.
Are you collecting all of them?
I don't play Pokemon.
How old is Herrera?
21.
See there. So you could slow play him for a year or two. It's not
all right. Slow play it. I wouldn't trade him. What does that do for you? Unless you're getting back a pitcher. Unless you're coupling Ivan Herrera and Tommy Edman and like getting a pitcher. What does trading Ivan Herrera do for you? I wouldn't trade him for a prospect.
I know. You're going to piss him off, though, keeping him in minors for another 2 years.
You certainly are.
But what are you going to do?
Play so good that they got to call you up.
Or someone offers a trade that's lopsided.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals go, yes.
All right, so we're keeping Herrera. We're basically keeping it status quo.
King size bed. We keep everybody in.
We did it.
Herrera's 23.
What?
I thought he was 21.
Yeah, the text line said he's 23, so it's 23.
There's no way.
I thought he was 21.
Okay. Unless you're saying the 314 is wrong.
I'm not saying the 3. I definitely am not saying the 314 is wrong.
Ivan Herrera, baseball catcher. Here we go. He is 23 years old. Anthony, what the hell's wrong with you? That's still young.
Now the 636 is saying Herrera's 23. We have to trust the text line.
He's 23. His debut. He debuted at 21. That's what I looked at.
It's always important to read the information. I know it's orange level, okay? Mm-hmm. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a nice try.
Jamie, that's great advice, as always.
Yeah.
Your constructive criticism is always well warranted, and I accept it all the time.
You do take it like a champ.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome, Anthony. It's it's a good character trait.
Yeah. Gauntlet's next. Hope Jamie loses here on 101 ESPN.
challenger. Can you master the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit masstour.com.
After beating me yesterday in the Gauntlet, Joey is back for round 2. He'll take on either Andrew Marsh or Jamie Rivers. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 403. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. What's up, Joey?
Not too much. How you guys doing?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. You have...
Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday to you.
Yes, thank you.
You have 2 options here. You could go with either Andrew Marsh or Jamie Rivers. Who would you like to go with?
I'm going to do Jamie today.
He's going to do him. He's going to do him real hard.
Well, just be very careful, Joey.
Yeah. I'm going to play him in trivia and I'm more,
He's specified.
Yeah.
Way. Yes.
All right. Good luck, Joey.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Jamie's going to make his way into the Cone of Silence. Joey, go ahead. Tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Marsh, spin the wheel.
What are you hoping for, Joey?
Not hockey.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You're not going to get hockey. You are going to get random, though. Random trivia today against Jamie Rivers. You good with that?
I'm good with it.
All right. Well, you know the rules, but for those that don't, Joey and Jamie are going to get the same 4 questions today here in the Gauntlet. Each question is random. Each question is worth 2 points unless Joey or Jamie need the options. Those questions become worth 1 point. Joey, you ready?
I'm ready.
Question number 1. In the original board game Monopoly, the green properties are Pacific Avenue, North Carolina Avenue, and which other property?
I don't know. We'll need the options.
Pennsylvania Avenue, Atlantic Avenue, Tennessee Avenue.
Okay. Pennsylvania, or what was the first one? Atlantic?
Pennsylvania, Atlantic, Tennessee.
I'll go Atlantic.
Final answer?
Yeah.
To Tennessee.
Question number 2. Club America, who beat St. Louis City SC 4-0, was defeated by which MLS team 4-1 4 days later?
Columbus. They lost 4-1 to Columbus and then got knocked out by Nashville in the knockout round.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Question 3, Joey. Which artist recently dropped an album titled Austin?
Post Malone.
Final answer?
On NPR. Yeah. Post Malone. Final answer.
Did you just say you heard that on NPR?
I did say that. He had an interview on NPR today.
No kidding.
Nice guy. He's also in the Short Ninja Turtles.
Huh.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
All right, question number 4. Which animal is gray when born and turns into its adult color as it ages due to its diet?
I'm going to guess a flamingo because they're pink from shrimp.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring back Jamie from the Cone of Silence. How you feeling, Joey?
Pretty good.
Okay.
Other than the Monopoly one.
All right. Jamie's making his way back from the Cone of Silence right now. He's got a little bit of a strut going on.
Yeah, it's Friday, Anthony.
It's Friday then, and Saturday, Sunday.
All right.
All right, Jamie.
How much Joey do here?
You might want to pack 9 lunches today.
9 lunches?
Yeah.
He did that good? I don't like that.
You ready?
I'm happy for Joey.
It's a lot of protein.
Sure is, but you can never get enough, Andrew. You know that.
You can't get enough.
Yeah. All right, let's go, Anthony.
Question number 1, Jamie. Who was Joe Montana's head coach when he won both Super Bowls in the 80s?
Bill Walsh.
That's correct.
Final answer.
You would have got 2 points on that. It's
You're
random trivia today. It's random trivia.
That is
you know
not,
what? You've done the
wow.
hockey thing to me a couple of times.
That is not cool. Throwing me off my game.
You started it. Random trivia.
Turn the cameras off, Marshy.
Reset. Reset. Random.
Random.
Yeah.
You're so.
And you know what? I got you confident now. You feel good now.
No, I don't.
Ready?
No.
Okay. In the original board game Monopoly, the green properties are Pacific Avenue, North Carolina Avenue, And which other property?
The green properties. Okay, so Pacific, North Carolina. I think it's Connecticut. It's Connecticut, the blue ones. Give me the options.
Pennsylvania Avenue, Atlantic Avenue, Tennessee Avenue.
Pennsylvania. Final answer.
Question number 2. Club America, who beat St. Louis City SC 4-0, was defeated by which MLS team 4-1 4 days later?
I have no idea. Like, not even even the options. It's going to be a guess. I have no idea. Give me the options, please.
Options are the Columbus Crew, LAFC, Nashville SC.
Well, it's got to be a good one. So it's LAFC or Nashville. Nashville's been pretty good. LA's been pretty good. Columbus Crew beat our team here. Wow. Yeah, I don't like this at all. Can we get a different category, please? Pass. Can I get a different question? Can't do that here. I'll go with LAFC. Final answer.
Question. Oh, well. Wow, I'm just trying to take
it all, aren't you?
Take over here.
Share, Marshy, share. Which artist recently dropped an album titled Austin? Which artist recently dropped an album titled Austin?
I have no idea. It's probably what's his name? Luke Combs or something. I don't know. Options. I'm so pissed off right now.
The Weeknd, Drake, Post Malone.
Post Malone is out doing a bunch of media stuff. Drake is on stage doing his hologram stuff. I haven't seen anything from The Weeknd. Austin. I don't know why Drake would have an album called Austin. I don't, which means it's probably Drake. Final answer.
Question number 4. Which animal is gray when born and turns into its adult color as it ages due to its diet?
Flamingo. Final answer.
Okay.
Not to be confused with the crane or the pelican.
Let's go over these.
I suck.
Joey versus Jamie in random today. Which animal is gray when born and turns into its adult color as it ages due to its diet? Joey, you went flamingo. Jamie, you went flamingo.
Of course Joey did.
Correct answer is...
Well, not to be confused with the crane or the pelican, it is the flamingo.
Yeah, it is.
Neither of you needed the options on that one. Nice job. We got a 2-2 tie. In the original board game Monopoly, the green properties are Pacific Avenue, North Carolina Avenue, and which other property? Joey, with the options, you said Atlantic Avenue. Jamie, with the options, you went Pennsylvania Avenue. Correct answer is...
Pennsylvania Avenue.
Nice job to Jamie, who's got a 3-2 lead over Joey.
That's it, though.
Which artist recently dropped an album titled Austin? Joey, you went Post Malone. Jamie, you went Drake. Correct answer is...
Well, of course, it's Post Malone.
NPR, that interview, Joey, that you watched really paid off. Joey did not need the options on that.
Whatever, Joey.
So Joey now has a 1-point lead over Jamie, 4-3.
I know where it's headed.
Club America, who beat St. Louis City SC 4-0, was defeated by which MLS team 4-1 4 days later? Jamie, you said LAFC. Joey, you said the Columbus Crew. If it's LAFC, we're heading to a walk-off. If it's Nashville SC or Columbus Crew, Joey wins today. Joey.
You have chosen wisely.
It was Columbus.
What?
Joey did not need the options.
It was really Columbus?
Joey wins today 6-3. He was on his game.
Good job, Joey.
Thank you, sir.
Joey, boy, you've been impressive the last 2 days, my friend. You've been impressive.
Thank you.
So
you'll hang out with some of my fanboys this weekend and get back to you Monday.
Yeah, you could celebrate And you know what? Celebrate all weekend, okay? You get drunk.
All weekend.
You get ham-sauced a couple of times over the weekend, right? And then show up on Monday, and you'll take on Andrew Marsh for a Gauntlet title.
That sounds good. Thank you, guys. It was fun.
All right, thanks,
all right, buddy.
Joey.
Have a great
See ya.
weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Joey's super nice guy. Also knows a lot about it. I mean, if he's watching NPR, where we are fluid, I got to be honest.
I almost said Post Malone, but then I was like, well, you heard my reasoning. It sounds like, why the hell would it be Drake? So it must be Drake.
Right.
I'm upset with myself, Anthony.
You know what, Jamie? It happens. It's okay.
I'm upset.
Is that a Post Malone song?
No, I think it's a Drake song.
Oh.
I could be completely wrong.
We're so...
No wonder we've lost
My
here.
kids are listening going, what a dork.
Is last night's version of Matthew Liberatore the guy you traded for? Have the Cardinals won? Have the Cardinals won the Randy Rosarina trade?
What the hell's wrong with you?
That's next on 101 ESPN.
Oh my God, quit drinking. Anthony, women's soccer is on the world stage. Team USA not there anymore, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because you can bet on all the action over at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And right now, which is awesome because FanDuel always has great promotions. Right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. What that means, Anthony, I'm going to break it down for you here. Okay?
Please do.
What that means is that up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. All you have to do is sign up to FanDuel.com/fast. Doesn't get any better than that.
Wait a second. So you can lose and you get your money back?
Yeah.
Is that what
Up to $1,000 back in bonus bets. I'm not lying. FanDuel is the best for a reason.
FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. That's right, Jamie. Best app, safe, secure, easy to use. They got all the odds. They got player props. They've got team props. They've got team, you got the money line. You got totals. You got futures. However you want to, live betting, you can do it all on FanDuel. And BT is going to tell you once more how to sign up.
You heard him. Sign up over at FanDuel.com/fast. That's FanDuel.com/fast for your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 over at FanDuel. 21 and over, present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued non-withdrawable bonus. Best set expire in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
let's give away some tickets. We have your chance right now to win a 4-pack of tickets to next Tuesday night's Budweiser Bash for Cardinals and A's. Next week's Bud Bash game features a limited edition Gary Gaetti bobblehead. And if you have the correct answer to the trivia question we're about to throw out, you can text in right now to 314-399-9646 to win Bud Bash tickets for Cardinals and A's. And you can find all the details on this season's series of Bud Bash games at cardinals.com/promotions. Here's your trivia question. If you're paying attention earlier, you listen to the entire show, you're going to have a shot here. Which highway was I stuck on today that cost me the first 2 segments? I was late for the first 2 segments of today's show because I was stuck in traffic. There was an accident. Hope everybody's okay. But I was stuck on the highway, this highway, for over an hour. Which highway was it? Text in 314-399-9646. You'll win the Gary Gaetti bobblehead tickets. Last chance to win those tickets right now. So again, Air Comfort Service Tax Line 314-399-9646. Jamie, do you think that the Cardinals have won the Randy Arozarena trade?
Is that a trick question?
Based on last night?
Yeah, no.
Oh. Is this Matthew? Is this the guy? Are you starting to warm up to the idea that Matthew Liberatore can be a dude?
No, not yet. And I'm not being mean at all, but
you're being fair.
I'm being fair. He had his very first start of the year against the Brewers, went very well for him, and the one last night went very well. Everything in the middle of that has been a roller coaster ride. Mm-hmm. But again, he's a young pitcher trying to establish himself at the major league level, and there's a lot that goes into it. Hell, you got pitchers that have been in the league for 5 years that go through these same things.
Yeah.
So, like Steven Matz is a great example. Start of this season, too, he was all over the map. He relegated to the bullpen. Went back, worked on some things, and pitching is a tough job. Now he's pitching well. So, when I look at Matthew Liberatore, I'm happy for the young man. Because nothing worse than being involved in a big trade like that, and the other guy goes on to just thrive, and you're not. Mm-hmm. So, last night, although it was only one start, it was a start against the team that traded him, the Arozarena trade, and he shoved. So that feels good. That's a great springboard for Matthew Liberatore and his confidence.
Yeah.
It's also a nice little thing for the Cardinals to be like, okay, there's progress here. This looked very good. Can we do this again and again and again? Maybe. We'll see, but we know it's there at least. And that's a good team that he pitched against. That's a first-place team for most of the season in the American League. Mm-hmm. So, look, they haven't won the trade, but when I look at this, at least I got a glimpse of what the enamorment, that's not even a word, what the Cardinals were enamored with.
There you go. Yeah.
I look at it and go, okay, if this is what they saw at the high school level or whatever, now I see why. Mm-hmm. So I like it for Matthew Liberatore, but I'm not ready to just give him a spot.
Yeah, that's fair. He's got to show it consistently. That's the key. You could be a top prospect. You could be involved in a big time trade, and you could have a little bit of success, but you got to do it on a consistent level. That's just that. And until he does, there's really no discussion here. Dakota Hudson at 28 is starting to show a little promise too, but the problem has been that everything has been fleeting with these guys. You mentioned the Matthew Liberatore trade, not the trade, but the start against the Brewers. Coming off the AAA performance that he had earlier, he does that. Okay, maybe he's turning it. Nope. Next 5-6 starts, we're pretty flat. We're basically what you expected from a 4A guy. Somebody that is probably right now, he's good enough to be at the big league level, yet not good enough to earn a rotation spot. He's stuck in that purgatory. So he's got to do it consistently. As many opportunities he's going to have, as many starts he's going to have, he's just got to do it consistently. And even then, Jamie, he's still going to be in a competition next year with Dakota Hudson.
He better be.
Absolutely. And Gordon Graceffo and Michael McGreevy and whoever. That's just the way it is right now. He's got to earn it.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's great. It's great. It is. It's great to have that competition. By the way, did you feel like Randy Arozarena was almost like, not showing off, but just, he stole the first 2 bases. He stole second, stole third.
Yeah.
lasers one up the middle, gets on first, almost taunts Liberatore with that slow delivery, steals second, then steals third. Just a big go blank yourself, San Diego.
Well, if Randy Arozarena wants to do that every single time he plays against the Cardinals, why wouldn't he? I mean, just that's what makes great players is you find that slight.
Yeah.
Right? We talked about it ad nauseum watching The Last Dance with Michael Jordan.
Right.
And we talk about other players that use imaginary things that aren't really there to, catapult them with their performance. Well, this is there. Arozarena probably feels like, hey, you guys screwed up, man. I'm going to show you why. Mm-hmm. And, you're pitching this guy against me? Okay, good one. Well, it ended up being a good one. Matthew Liberatore did a great job. Randy Arozarena stole second, stole third, and didn't go anywhere from there.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I definitely, like Randy Arozarena is a showman anyways. He loves doing the poses. He loves doing the celebrations and all that stuff. So for him to capitalize on a moment where he can kind of grandstand a little bit and like pump his own tires, of course he's going to do that. And I don't hate him for it.
No,
I don't hate him for it at all.
Yeah. Do you hate what Jack Flaherty said?
I'm puzzled.
That was taken out of context, I think.
What do you got on this, Marsh?
Out of context, he basically said it was quiet at Busch Stadium the whole year.
It was. I was at the game like a week ago. The environment sucked.
Why did he say it, though? What was the point? Why? Why not just shut up?
Hold on. Why is it taken out of context first? Why do you think?
Just the way, like the tone of how he said it.
Did you hear the audio?
I did.
Do you have the audio?
I can grab it.
I would love to hear the audio because I've only read the quote.
Grab it, Marsh.
Grab it.
I'll grab it.
Grab it right now, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Jack Flaherty this is why I really want to hear the audio, because his first comments when he gets there about going to a winning team and all that stuff, I thought that was taken out of context.
Yeah.
So much that we didn't defend him, but I think we explained to our listeners just kind of how that vibe was. This one here, and maybe it is taken out of context, but what I read into it is why even bother saying it? Like, as a professional athlete, and he's not an unintelligent guy. Jack Flaherty's a smart guy. So why even say it? Why not just say, hey, by the way, it's really loud in here. It's louder than I thought here in Baltimore. Never had this, never knew, but fans are great. Why not just say that instead of, just kind of needling a little bit?
Yeah, so as Marsh is looking for the audio, here's what Jack Flaherty said. He said, Jack Flaherty, this is on his first start at Camden Yards, first start. He goes, I haven't had to turn my pitch comm up while pitching at home in a while. Oof. That's a shot.
It might be true, but I feel like that's a shot.
Okay. Here's where I go with this, though, Jamie.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going to take a shot at the home crowd? Or at the very least, you're going to take a shot at the team not playing well? You were a part of that.
Yeah, did you give them anything to cheer them for?
You were a part of that. Where were you a year ago? Because I happen to remember when that stadium was packed to the gills because of what Albert Pujols was doing last year and what Paul Goldschmidt was doing last year. You were nowhere to be found because you were hurt. Again. You're a part of that this year. This is where I go. And Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt are the ultimate professionals, and they haven't said anything, and they keep grinding, and they keep working hard. But this is kind of where I go when people bring them up, too, and say, you're wasting them. No, they're a part of this. You can't exclude certain aspects when you're losing. That's what being a team is all about. So for him to say, I haven't had to turn up my pitch comm while pitching at home in a while.
It's just an unnecessary.
You haven't pitched at home in 3 years because you've been banged up, dude. You gonna throw shade?
He's pitched a couple times. So.
You gonna throw shade? Oh, what do you face the Pirates? You gave up 4 in the first 3 innings.
I'm with you on this one.
Good job, Jack. Good effort, Jack.
I'm with you on this one. I think it's an unnecessary comment. He didn't have to do it at all.
Yeah.
Didn't have to do it. A Marshy struggle bus, and he can't find the audio, which is fine. It's
if we did take it out of context, we're sorry.
And we'll keep looking for the audio.
That you feel that way.
We'll find it somewhere. Maybe we'll drop it into the sports section.
Yeah, but come on, dude.
Or what's trending.
It's good to be a part of a good team. Yeah, you were part of a stink fest this year.
Yeah, he was a big part of it.
You guys weren't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
You guys weren't good enough,
What are you pointing at
Jack.
me for?
I did this.
I didn't do anything.
I did this.
I didn't do anything.
I was presenting my opinion to you.
Yeah, present this.
Fair enough. All right, NFL Bowl predictions next on 101 ESPN.
.101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cards, well, they take down the Rays last night by a final score of 5-2 and take 2 of 3 and Tampa Bay. Matthew Liberatore, 8 innings pitched, gave up 2 hits, 0 earned runs, walked 0, and struck out 7. Adam Wainwright on the mound tonight going up against Dylan Coleman of the Kansas City Royals. First pitch is at 7:10. We talked earlier today with Matt Holliday. If you missed that interview, go to 101ESPN.com or check out the 101 mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our NFL bold predictions coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center updates driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at Londoff.com and LondoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Congratulations to Carl from St. Louis. He just won the tickets to the Bud Bash game featuring the A's and the Cardinals, and it's the limited edition Gary Gaetti bobblehead. That's because he knew which highway I was stuck on before the show today, which cost me the first 2 segments of said show. I was stuck in some accident traffic. Hope everybody's okay. Correct answer is on that.
Oh, Highway 270.
That's correct, 270. Absolute mess. As always. Let's do some NFL bowl predictions, boys.
Yeah.
Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. So we've broken them up into some categories. So week 1 of the preseason underway. We saw the Hall of Fame game last week. So fun time to make some bold predictions. Let's break it up. Start with quarterback. What's a bold prediction involving a quarterback for you guys this year? Jamie, go ahead.
So I've been on the Trevor Lawrence train. I think that under a real head coach, which he had last year, he thrived. I mean, I couldn't believe the difference in Trevor Lawrence. That's a year later, some experience and all that. But I believe he threw for, 4,100 yards last year?
Yeah.
I see Trevor Lawrence throwing for 4,700 yards this year.
So we're talking top 5 quarterback yardage.
Top 5 quarterback in the NFL. There's no reason he can't be. Mm-hmm. If what he did last year in his second year, he was able to do that, there's no reason he can't do that this year.
Yeah.
So my bold predictions, Trevor Lawrence passes for 4,700 plus.
I like that, Jamie. To add to your point, he's got Calvin Ridley now. Calvin Ridley, a number 1 wide receiver. Like, say what you want about the gambling stuff and all that. He served his time.
He was a gamble bringing him on board.
He was to some degree. I also think that he did the Falcons wrong there. But
yeah, he did.
They traded him. Sent him on his way. He's a number 1 wide receiver, and they've got Evan Ingram there, and they got some other receiver, Christian Kirk, who stepped up last year. They've got some complementary pieces.
Good coaching, too.
Very good coaching when Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl. Calvin Ridley's a stud, though. All right, I like that one, Jamie. What do you got, Marsh?
I think Kirk Cousins will be top 5 in the MVP voting this upcoming year.
It's never ending.
Is there
what reason?
Yeah, he's got to read we know
he's always a top 10 quarterback.
Somehow he became
statistically
awesome.
He's always a top 10 quarterback.
Statistically, he is a top 10 quarterback. I think Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson are great weapons for him. I think they're going to have a great year, statistically speaking.
Probably going to have to throw for a lot of yards.
Probably.
To outpace his defense. So,
yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. He just owns it. He doesn't even care.
Oh, I like that, Marsh. I mean, you're supporting your guy.
It's bold predictions.
It is.
Very bold prediction. That's what we asked for, Andrew. You did the assignment correct.
I mean, that's very, very bold.
Mm-hmm.
I got a bold prediction for you guys for a quarterback. Jordan Love is going to lead the Green Bay Packers to the playoffs.
Oh, God.
Jordan Love is going to lead the Green Bay Packers to the playoffs.
It's not all that risky based on the conference.
He plays in the same division as your favorite team, the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, they're going to absolutely
play in the same division as Marsh's favorite team there, the Vikings, who he's always hyping up. And every texter known to man is hyping up Justin Fields. So I think it would be quite a feat if Jordan Love, his first year as a starter, led the Green Bay Packers to the playoffs. But he's got a top 10 offensive line. He's got a manageable schedule. He's got good coaching. He's got a 2-headed monster in Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon at the running back position. Not good enough for Aaron Rodgers. I know. Not good enough for him. but those two backs are excellent. Christian Watson, another year for him. Still got some, they got a young guy in Jaden Reed, who's a second-round pick this year. I think there's more than enough weapons. And that defense, while not great overall, I think they're better than people think. Their front seven is top 10, and their secondary is decent. So that's my bold prediction for the quarterback spot. Running back, Marsh, what's your bold prediction for the running back?
I have Ramondre Stevenson. He will lead the league in yards per carry.
He's a stud.
Last year he was
the Patriots' offense.
Yards per carry. He ended up having 1,040 rushing yards and was ranked 9th in the rankings when it comes to running backs. I think he's going to have a big year, and I think the Patriots need him to have a big year, especially with some question marks around Mac Jones.
What?
Yeah, there are some question marks around that fella.
What? The whole offense.
They got 2 Mac Jones. They're fine.
That's true.
If the one Mac Jones doesn't work out, they just put in the other Mac Jones.
Very true.
Yeah.
But Ramondre Stevenson, I think he's going to have a big year.
He is their best player, bar none. Jamie. Best offensive player, I should say.
My bold prediction, I didn't pick one specific player because the running back position is really not all that important. So I said...
Wow. Somewhere, Kerry Davis just had to his heart.
No, I was quoting Anthony Stalter on that one.
I've never said that.
Literally, this is what you've said, and this is what I'm going with. So my bold statement is some 5th rounder will be top 5 in running backs.
Jeez, some 5th round? Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
See? Kerry Davis? See? You're gridiron guy, huh? Okay.
Gridiron Guy podcast just dropped a couple of days ago. Hopefully check that out on 101ESPN.com or wherever you download your mobile apps. Or podcast, actually. Yeah. There you have it. All right, my bold prediction for running back. Bijan Robinson will lead all running backs in all-purpose yards.
Oh, they were going to say in carries.
All-purpose yards.
I don't think he gets that. I think he leads and carries.
Jamie, they are going to run this kid into the ground. They're going to throw him a bunch of passes. He will be their offense. Bijan Robinson leads all running backs in all-purpose yards this season.
I like it. It's very, very, very possible.
Yeah.
So I got nothing against it.
They are not going to forget about him like Drink forgets about Luther Burden. You know what I mean?
That's true.
All right.
Wake up, Drink.
Wide receiver. What's your guys' bold prediction for a wide receiver this year?
I'm struggling with this one. I'm not going to lie. So I'll defer. Because for me, the bold prediction has to be something that you just don't see happening. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm having trouble finding a guy that you don't see that happening. Mostly because a lot of the guys that would fall in that category, I just don't know enough about them.
Mm-hmm.
I know the headliners, but that's not really a bold prediction.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, unless you go like so far over the top.
Yeah. And let it marinate here for a minute.
I don't know if this is a bold prediction because he did lead the league in receiving yards last year. But Tyreek Hill was saying that he could get 2,000 yards this year. Justin Jefferson's the one that's going to get 2,000 yards, not Tyreek Hill.
Well, he almost beat Megatron's record last year.
He had 1,800 last year.
Yeah.
And the Vikings are going to have to throw the ball consistently. And Kirk Cousins doesn't realize that anybody else is on the field at times. And Justin Jefferson's he's a monster. And everybody keeps talking about how, like Odell Beckham Jr. is the greatest thing ever. And he's going to be great in Baltimore. It's disrespectful to guys like Justin Jefferson when you talk like that.
Man, in my opinion. Jordan Addison, he had a great catch yesterday. I don't know if you saw it.
Was it in one-on-one coverage against a corner that's not going to make the team?
Just go look at it, Anthony. It was a great catch.
It was a
great catch.
I'm picking on you, Marsh, but I do love how all these teams, every team does it. All 32 teams, they put it on Instagram, they put it on the Instacart or the X machine. Hey, check out this catch. And it's always one-on-one against a corner safety who's going to be bagging groceries 2 weeks from now. Like,
I don't care who it was against. It could have been against you. Go look at the catch. It was a fantastic catch. He kept both feet in bounds. It was unbelievable.
Fair.
My wide receiver bold prediction is that Calvin Ridley will be top 10 in touchdowns.
Oof. That kind of pairs up nicely with Jamie's Trevor Lawrence prediction.
That's what I was thinking. And he's looked good in camp. I think he's going to have a big year.
My bold prediction at the wide receiver position is that DeAndre Hopkins, although doesn't really have the quarterback, he's going to set a career high with 15 touchdowns this year. I think that he's going to be the default on everything. When in doubt, get it to DeAndre Hopkins. And especially when they get down the red zone, they're going to rely upon this guy to put it in his direction. He's going to make the catch. I think he hits a career high 15 touchdowns.
Okay, I like that. How about defense? Marsh, you got a defense bold prediction for us?
Yeah, despite the Dolphins having a few injuries, I think they're going to be one of the best defenses in the league this upcoming year. I know they've been up there before, but I could see them being 1 or 2, despite Jalen Ramsey being injured.
I love that one.
Thank you.
I was going to say they're going to lead the league in sacks.
There we go.
But I'll go with something else.
All right, if we're going to talk about D, we've got to talk about the big D, the Detroit Lions.
Whoa.
And they were horrible defensively
What do you
last
mean?
year. Well, they gave up 25 points per game last year, Anthony, and that's really not a recipe for success. So now I'm not going to go as far as to say they're going to finish top 5 or even top 10, but I do believe the Lions are going to be much improved, and they're finishing the top 12 in points allowed per game.
Okay. Boy, you're all in on the Lions this year.
Hear me roar, baby.
My bold prediction is, I'm just going to stick with it. Dolphins lead the league in sacks.
Love it.
All right, head coach. Bold prediction, head coach.
I don't know if it's a bold prediction, but I think based upon their performance last year, it's a bold prediction. I think Sean Payton gets the Broncos second in their division.
Okay, I like that.
I don't think they pass the Chiefs. I just think the Chiefs are too good, but that's a hell of a jump for the Broncos if that happens.
Certainly is.
I think Mike McCarthy will be fired mid-season.
Okay, all right.
Marshy went that way. I like it.
I don't mind it.
Well, Jerry Jones usually doesn't fire his coaches like midway through the year. He usually
never does.
waits.
You're right.
I think they're going to be terrible.
Okay.
I said the same thing last year. They ended up winning a playoff game. I'll say it
On the
every
road.
single year. But they played Tom Brady, who's at the back half of his career. Mike McCarthy will be fired midway through the year. I'm going to say week 11. Week 11. I think the Cowboys will be like 4 and I don't know when their bye is. We'll just say 4-6 or 4-7.
You really do not like the Dallas Cowboys. My bold prediction for head coach, Arthur Smith wins coach of the year. Arthur Smith, head coach of the year. Last one, team.
I'll just make it quick. Bold prediction for me, and I don't even know if it's that bold, but I'm going to go out there and say that the Ravens win the AFC North.
Okay. Marshy?
I've been kind of beating this drum, and you guys are big 49er fans. I think the Seahawks win that division. I don't know how bold that is to say, being how good they were last year, but I think the Seahawks win the NFC West.
I think that's bold.
I think it's bold without being silly.
Yeah. Houston Texans are a playoff wild card contender. Until December.
This guy.
I got to give myself a little bit of an out.
I thought you were predicting playoffs. I'm like, what are you doing?
All right,
here?
why not? Houston Texans shocked the world to make the playoffs as a wild card.
You didn't go with Green Bay in the Super Bowl.
What is up with you and Jordan Love?
Well, yeah. What happened
going
here?
on?
Is he the new Zach Wilson? Are you going to ruin this kid too?
I just root for guys that like nobody believes in.
Who doesn't believe in Jordan Love?
He's only played like
nobody
in 3 games.
There you go, Marsh. There's one. Nobody believes in Jordan Love. Everybody's talking about, Aaron Rodgers, greatest thing ever. Why? Because he won a Super Bowl and had a Hall of Fame career?
And he's an MVP? I mean, how dare we?
Four times.
Jordan Love could be a good quarterback in the league. I just don't think it's going to be in his first year as the starter.
Okay. All right, Marsh.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
Stop looking at me like that.
He's totally just staring you
That's
down.
the look that Jamie gives you.
It's a good point.
And he's upset.
Anthony, you executed that very well.
Thank you, Jamie. Sports Six Pack is next. 314-399-9646. If you want to leave us a question, you can do so at the Air Comfort Service text line or on our YouTube channel at 101 ESPN STL. Sports Six Pack next in the Fast Lane.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
When it comes to our guy, Stewie, Jamie, he is outstanding. You might be wondering right now, do I purchase a home? Can I purchase a home? Is it smart to purchase a home where the rates currently where they're at, which sky high right now? This is why you call Stewie. And a lot of times, he's going to get you closed in under 2 weeks. And with the bagel loan program that he has, Jamie, if you qualify, you're borrowing up to $200,000, well, guess what? No closing cost, no lender fees. You could apply that money to the purchase of your home. Maybe you want to upgrade a certain area. Either way, Stewie's the guy.
Yeah, take 5 minutes and talk to Stewie, too. I'll tell you that much. Every time I talk to Stewie, I learn something new about what's going on. And Stewie just wants to make sure that you're taken care of. So if you have a current lender, let's say you're purchasing a home, your real estate agent is, offered their lender, that's fine. Get a second opinion. Call our guy Stewie. He might find something that you haven't thought of. Either way, he's going to make sure he takes care of you because he prides himself on that great customer service. So without further ado, pick up the phone and call our guy Stewie at 314-324-4440.
Again, 314-324-4440, or you can
Google the bagel loan.
NMLS number 226715.
I have a question. It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by Maggie O'Brien's, your go-to Irish pub in St. Louis for over 42 years.
All right, time for the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh.
Question number 1.
From the 636, how much of yesterday's performance by Matthew Liberatore do y'all think was due to facing his former team? Or are we seeing the product of him putting in the work to get stronger?
A bit of both. Look, I can tell you this from personal experience. You always want to play really good against a team that traded you or released you or whatever, didn't believe in you. And so, look, that's fuel for sure. But past that part of it, Matthew Liberatore had to execute. You can be angry, you can be all this, you can have all fuel, and as a pitcher, though you can walk out there and get rocked because you're not focused or dialed in. So I think a combination of, him having some extra motivation, but then putting in the work, trusting his stuff, listening to Andrew Knizner, listening to Dusty Blake, and just executing the game plan the way he wanted to. And this kid, he does have stuff. Like, he's got really good breaking ball. That thing drops off a table at times to where I don't know how guys don't swing at it sometimes, but it's there. So for me, he definitely was motivated to play the Rays, but it was more about the preparation and the execution.
Yeah, I agree, Jamie. Well said. I don't have anything to add to that. Yeah, you can't just will it to happen. You need to put in the work. So, well said.
Question number 2.
This could be a quick one. From the 636, from the 314, will Mizzou basketball make the Final Four?
No. Let's not be silly here. Let's not be silly. They had a great year last year. They'll have another really good year this year, but they're not Final Four bound. Anthony, you might disagree. And look,
I don't.
I'm a Mizzou Tigers fan.
Yeah.
M-I-Z. Z-O-U. Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
But they're not getting to the Final Four.
I wouldn't think so. That was a hell of a year last year. That was an excellent
Plus, they
opening
lost one of their
win.
best players.
Yeah. First round pick. So, no. But I'm very excited for the future of Mizzou basketball. That's how I would put it.
I like that, yes.
Question number 3.
Question number 23.
From the 636, do you ever see St. Louis getting another NFL team?
I don't, unfortunately. I always go back to what Old Haircut said, the Raiders owner, Mark Davis, when he lost the bid there, the Chargers, the night that the Chargers were paired up to the Rams, and he was dejected. He was sitting there. He's like, this is basically like, this isn't over. And the media was like, hey, what about Vegas? Because they weren't in Vegas yet. What about Vegas? Absolutely. Everything's on the table. What about San Antonio, Mark? Absolutely. Everything's on the table. What about St. Louis, Mark? No, I'm not doing that. No. I don't know why.
Did he really say that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was
things
like,
I learned today.
Vegas, yes. San Antonio, yes.
San Antonio?
Yeah. Yeah. St. Louis, I don't think so.
San Antonio's beautiful. I played in the minors there. The Riverwalk is outstanding. It's not NFL worthy. It's not.
Unless there is a group or an owner that wants to build his own stadium here, because don't forget you have the St. Louis aspect too. Or St. Louis, like, you burned us.
Yeah.
We're going to support you? I don't think so.
Well, and the stadium they have here is garbage. No offense to the dome, the location's not ideal.
You're going to have a private ownership group come in and say, we will build a stadium here. Now, do you have that? Is the NFL interested? I do wonder if we have caught the NFL's attention to some degree with the soccer team coming in and the Battlehawks and the TV. The XFL TV ratings alone for us are impressive, all things considered. So, I wonder if we've caught their attention a little bit. Otherwise, I don't think they're looking to expand to St. Louis. They'd look to expand to London. They look to expand to maybe Mexico even. I think their next step is to expand to a different country, which I wouldn't do, but...
Canada.
Or Canada.
Toronto could totally handle an NFL team.
And by the way, I hope so. Because
I was kind of questioning your negativity.
A St. Louis-born football team, sign me up. Sign me right the blank up. And also sign me up for 3 more questions, guys.
Wow.
Yeah. Sports Six-Pack continued next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by Maggie O'Brien's, your go-to Irish pub in St. Louis for over 42 years.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh with our continued Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 4.
From the 618, do you guys think the Blues Stanley Cup win in 2019 was the greatest sports story in history?
Wow. I'm trying not to be blinded by the moment right now.
Blinded by the light.
Yeah, all of that. I'm trying to think. I just don't know.
What about the U.S. hockey team?
Yeah.
Given the.
So that's a great one.
So given the climate
and
of everything going on,
odds against them doing it. Although I would argue that the odds at one point of the Blues winning the Stanley Cup were probably equal to what the odds were.
Very true.
That the United States win the gold medal. I won't go out there and say it's the greatest sports moment ever, but it's on the podium. It is. You can talk about your 06 Cardinals and all that stuff.
The 11 Cardinals.
The 11 Cardinals, but they were never in last place in the entire league halfway through the season.
Yeah.
they didn't have a great season, but they went on to win a World Series.
Right.
So I'm not minimizing that either, because trust me, a World Series is a World Series, but they weren't the worst team in the league. So when you look at the Blues and NFL team, think of an NFL team that usually the good teams are good and the bad teams are not.
Like let's put this in perspective. Like the Lions last year, if they wound up making the playoffs and they won the Super Bowl, that would have been a fun story.
Well, that would have been incredible.
I still don't know if that's the best.
But
NFL
then they would have had to
story
have been in last place halfway through the season.
Yeah.
That's where I think the Blues get the bump, is that it was such a massive turnaround.
Yeah. I mean, they're in the picture, that's for sure. Where were the Kings when the Kings won their
8th place?
I know they started the playoffs in 8th place, but
yeah.
Were they?
They weren't in last place
No.
throughout the year. They're always hovering in and around
Okay.
that spot.
I mean, it is a remarkable story. I don't know if I put it in front of U.S. hockey over Russia.
What about Francis Ouimet? You know that guy from The Greatest Game Ever Played, portrayed by Shia LaBeouf.
The Greatest Game Ever Played.
Golf?
Vince Young against Matt Leinert's USC Trojans.
That's not what I'm talking about.
That was the greatest game ever played. And it's a fact.
Talk about a great documentary to watch. The Greatest Game Ever Played.
I saw it though, Marsh.
You've seen it?
I have.
It's a great movie.
Vince Young goes
documentary.
Stop around the corner.
saying that.
Sneaks inside the pylon. I mean,
that was a great game.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Question 5, please.
Question number 5.
From the 636, during your sports careers, did you set goals for yourself at the beginning of each season? And what were they? Anthony, your college sports career. Jamie, your hockey career.
I'm going to play shorts to... No, I'm not. Jamie, this is your question.
Yeah, as a young player, I set stupid goals, because I really believed in myself. And I was like, and coming off a very good, successful junior hockey career and a very successful career in the minors, I don't think I set goals. Like, I remember the one junior year I had was, off the record breaking, 121 points as a defenseman. There were markers along the way. Like, I remember I wanted to get to 80 points because my brother had scored 80 points for our team 2 years before. And so for me, I was like, I want to get to 80 points. We only play 65 games, so it's a pretty good deal to get that. And I got to 80 points. I was like, Christmas time. I was like, holy crap. Where can I get to here? So then I wanted to get to 100 points as a defenseman, which was, that was a big feat too. And then to get to 121, which is the third highest point total ever, was crazy. I mean, again, in 65 games. So you're 2 points a game.
It's awesome.
It was pretty wild. So that was the year I don't know if they were goals. They were just they were mile markers that I'd highlighted.
Yeah.
And then when I get to the NHL, I didn't do a good enough job of setting goals. And I blame some of the coaching staffs for that. Because you hear me now, I talk about 5-game segments, 3-game segments, and really kind of making sure that the young players can have success or failure, but it's in a small window. So the next 5-game segment, you set goals again. Now that segment's really good.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the season, you look at how that went. I didn't do that as a young player. As I got older, I did it because it was a way for me to measure my success because there were gaps. No secret. I was a healthy scratch a lot in the last 4 or 5 years of my career. So you can't say, I want to play this many games or get this many points. No, you have to be like the games I play. So 5-game segments. There might be a week in between games, but my 5-game segments would have certain numbers and stats that I wanted to hit. And that's when I did a better job of, shots blocked, hits, shots on goal, points. I never had points highlighted because to me, that would take me out of the role that I was playing. So was I trying to score? Well, yeah. But that's why you'd say the shots on goal. Gives me an opportunity to score, certainly an opportunity to get an assist on a rebound or something like that. But it wasn't like, I want to score 2 goals in this next 5 games.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up for failure at that point. I didn't play any power play time. I was only playing about 13, 14 minutes a game. You're not giving yourself a whole bunch of opportunity. So for me, I didn't do enough of it in my career until the very end. I wish I had done more of it.
That's great, man. Not that part, but the way you outline that. And I could briefly talk about like the career goals, the career aspects of it, because there's a lot of people who are really, it's like find a different profession, man. when I first got out of college, that's what it was. I mean, it was just rejection after rejection. It's hard to get into radio. It's hard to get into TV. I was like, I'd be willing to mop up the floors and do whatever. I started in Detroit. I happened to get a job where I was on the street team. So I was hauling equipment through, downtown Detroit and handing out the free T-shirts till 2 a.m. and doing all that stuff. And I was like, I want to learn the board next. I want to be a producer next. Then once I did that, I went in on my off time, and I was also working at Circuit City and repoing cars in Detroit for Enterprise Rent-A-Car and all this other stuff. Learn how to do the board. Then I got the call to do a ESPN Sunday Night Baseball game. Nobody wanted to do it because you get Yankees, Red Sox, and then you're up until 3 a.m. But I did that. Then I produced some, weekday shows. Next step, I wanted to do a full-time producer job. Wanted to get to updates. I wanted to get to weekends. Wanted to get to nights. Then, middays. And I just happened to catch enough breaks. Got hired here, Fastlane producer, ironically, 10 years ago.
Full circle.
For Randy and Dunk and DeMarco. And happened to, be fortunate enough for Dunk and I to be paired up in the middays. And then Jamie, you and I turned into the midday show for a while. And it's just kind of enough doors opened up. That's the lucky part. When those doors open up, you got to be good enough and you got to perform. That's the kind of skill, work ethic, talent part. Absolutely. So everything just kind of meshed, and now I get to do a lifelong dream that, a lot of people are like, find a different profession. So, and I think about that just like athletes do. You think about that, like, really? Okay, watch this. And it could have went. My career could have went so many different ways. And I'm very proud too of doing the ESPN radio gig there for the football season, the full year of the 2019 football season, including post game show for Chiefs and 49ers on ESPN radio.
That's awesome, man.
We got done at 3 a.m. and I put my headset down and I was exhausted. I'm like, man, that's it right there.
You're exhausted, awesome. But you're exhilarated.
Totally. Yeah. I didn't go to sleep that night. I didn't go to sleep that night. Yeah. So as far as goals, you got to have them. Absolutely.
Question number 6.
From the 636, do you think you could win in a fight with the following animals?
Oh, boy.
A wolf.
No.
An alligator.
No.
A mountain lion.
No.
A deer.
Yes.
And a baboon.
No.
No, the baboon's the scariest of all that whole
thing. Rip your face off.
Absolutely.
Those things are so freaking strong.
Yeah.
Forget about that. I ain't fighting the baboon.
No.
A wolf, I've had this discussion before. I think I'd be okay against a wolf. And the only reason is not they are ferocious, but they only have one weapon.
Their teeth.
Their mouth.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've been in enough fights to where I've got to hang on with grip strength and holding and pushing back that I feel like I could get a good grip on that neck and snap it. I really do. Like I really get a good grip and just crank that thing. Yeah. Just sorry, Peter. The alligator, I actually have documentation of this. When I was down in Florida in the Everglades one time, my brother and I were on this like little excursion with the airboats, and this guy took us to like this remote area, and he's like, "Who wants to jump on a gator?" And I was like, I'll do it. So I jumped into the little swamp area, and he showed me how to do it. You find them by the tail, and you pull them by the tail. It kind of puts them off balance for a second, but then you got to pounce down on the front of their face. If you miss, you're screwed because they're going to swing sideways and the teeth get you. So I did it. So I grabbed the tail, came in and just pounced it down, held it down, then you crank the jaw all the way back, and you're sitting there. Then I was sitting there going, okay, now what?
Yeah, right. What do you do now?
I looked at him, I'm like, so how do I get out of this?
Yeah.
He's like, put the head back down, and get up to your feet, and then just like run straight backwards like 8, 10, 12 feet. So I did that. So I feel like I'd be somewhat confident. Now, the gator would have to be on land. If we're in the water, there's no chance.
Gone. Right. He's twirling at that point.
He's got the death roll. I'm done at that point. There's no way. I got my floaties on. I'm screwed. What were the other animals? A deer? A deer's, that's no joke. They get up on their hind legs and they start kicking. That would be tough because they're so big. They'd actually have the reach on you.
Yeah, that's true.
So you'd have to try and get inside, go for a double leg takedown.
Right.
Which they're like 500 pounds. That's probably.
Yeah, they're big.
Yeah.
That's why they do so much damage to freaking vehicles.
Do. What are the other ones?
That was it. Baboon.
What about you?
I might have an okay chance against a deer.
Mountain lion was the
mountain lion. Yeah, no, I'm not getting
on that one because they've got the claws too.
Yep.
And they run at you. They're like that. Have you seen the videos?
And they've got I think they have the most powerful bite, the pressure. So even if they get your arm, they're snapping it in half. Now what?
Right. I used to have this argument with Dunk because he thought he could beat a wolf too by getting his forearm into the jaw and like just pounding and stuff. But I'm like,
I don't know if I like that strategy.
He's gonna rip up your arm.
That thing's gonna shred it.
Right.
He might. Maybe the damage is not substantial and he can knock it out quick.
Sure.
But you're really hoping at that point.
I got no shot against probably all of them, but the deer I might have a little bit of a shot against. I don't know. I can't.
We're not talking Bambi here. These are the big suckers.
Yeah. I would say none.
I wouldn't want to fight the deer or the baboon.
See, like the alligator part, you're telling me how to do it or whatever. I would probably get to the point where, like, I got it up. I got the jaw. I heard it.
That's a good night.
I got the jaw. I got the jaw up.
That's another good night.
Mm-hmm. Got the jaw up, Jamie, of the alligator. But like you, I'd be like, what next? And they would be trying to teach me how to do it. I probably would just let go. And he'd probably turn around and grab me by the neck. And you know how I am in the water, guys. I'm hitting my head on something.
Yeah,
I'm hitting my head on a rock or something. Maybe.
You might launch yourself and knock him out.
I might.
Yeah.
I do have experience with that.
I do. Either way, those are some pretty intense situations.
I'm not doing well in those. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. What's trending is next.
the world of sports, the Fast Lane has you covered. What's trending now?
Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate to Goodwill and get a half-price Cardinals ticket voucher.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending.
Hey, Marsh.
Hey, Anthony. Hey, Jamie.
Hey, Andrew.
What's up?
What's trending?
Jack Flaherty's trending. We talked about him earlier. Yeah, you guys wanted to hear the audio?
Yeah.
This is the audio from the post-game show involving Jack Flaherty, and a lot of fans weren't too happy about it.
Let's hear it.
Take a listen.
This is the first time you ever pitched here. What did you think of pitching here? Energy was great. I mean, I haven't had to, turn my pitch count up while pitching at home in a while. So it was, good energy to kind of feed off it.
Boy, what a piece of crap, huh?
Yeah, I don't think that was taken out of context.
I don't think so either.
You don't think so?
No, I think he was being snarky. I think he was being snarky AF.
I think when you read it, it sounds a lot worse than when he says it.
Oh, I think he's being snarky there.
You think so?
He may have been playing to the home crowd. I'll give him that. But nonetheless, the Cardinals, let's just take a step back here. First of all, the Cardinals drafted you. Okay, they believed you enough. No, I'm sorry, Marsh. I was
going to say, I can't talk into the mic if I step back.
Figuratively. Let's take a step back. Cardinals drafted you. They believed in you. They viewed you as somebody who could be an ace. You didn't like the arbitration process. I don't blame you, but you pushed back on that. Then you got hurt. You weren't available. It's not like the Cardinals said, you're not good enough, stay in the minors. You got hurt.
Yeah.
You got hurt for half of 21, all of 22, and then you came back this season, and the Cardinals stunk this year. And you're a part of that. So to say well, I have my pitch com, blah, 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 which is a clear shot at St. Louis being quiet, they're quiet because you gave them nothing to cheer for this year. Yeah. This is the best. I'm not placating. This is the best fan base in baseball. They will give standing O's to former players that played a month here. Mm-hmm. That's how much they appreciate the game. They will show up in droves. They get the game. They were quiet because you stunk. Your team stunk. So the first time he goes over there, Jamie, you and I talked about it. We were fine with it. It's good to play for a winning team, whatever.
Yeah,
that is a twinge of snark, but we'll let you go. This one, I'm sorry, I'm not going to let you go on this. You're a part of it. Where's the ownership in it? We weren't good enough there. I'm happy to be here. I have a second chance. I'm going to, first place. I am excited. We didn't get it done in St. Louis. Not throwing shade at the fan base here. Your pitch com didn't need to go up because you guys were awful this year.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. There's no reason to even word it that way.
No.
If you don't want to be taken out of context, don't say something that can be taken out of context. All you had to say is that, hey, man, this crowd was energetic. First start here in Baltimore, I had no idea you guys got so rowdy here. I had to turn my pitch comm up. Mm-hmm. It was awesome. There. No shot at St. Louis.
Yeah.
You're praising your new fan base.
Yep. But he had to say it. Flaherty's got to say it. He's got to say it that way.
Does he get not a pass, but do you think in his mind, there's a lot of fans here that would talk crap to him on social media. They text in. A lot of people don't like Jack Flaherty, and for many reasons.
Yeah.
Maybe he felt, hey, people are talking smack to me. I'm going to throw some shade.
Yeah, but then
I'm not trying to defend him. I'm just saying.
That's counterproductive to what you're saying, because then it wasn't taken out of context. It was absolutely.
I'm just throwing hypotheticals.
You're playing devil's advocate.
If he did that, still why? What an idiot! I'm sorry, Jack. Why? Don't buzzkill the fan base. They're not the ones who gave up home runs. They're not the ones who were hurt. They're all they ever did is show up to every friggin' game. Every year they do it.
And that's an interesting perspective, because I'm not above, sometimes you hear enough chirps, text line or whatever, enough chirps, you finally, you got to smack. You got to smack one back.
Person.
The problem with that is that when you do it that way, you hit all the good fans too.
That's true. And you got to be professional too.
You have to be professional as well. Yes. So I think it's an interesting perspective. But when you pull out the shotgun like that, you're hitting innocent bystanders too, and that's not fair. That's not fair to the people that didn't do anything to you. So
that's true.
I guess what I'm saying is, when the Orioles get to the playoffs and he pitches in a playoff game, I hope Houston or whoever hangs 8 on him. Like, wow. I hope they go snowman on him first inning.
Okay. All right.
There's your pettiness.
There it is.
Wow. Okay. I like it, actually.
Right? A little snowball action. Snowman. 2 snowballs, 1 snowman on Flaherty.
It's well said.
I want the balls on Flaherty to be out of the park. I want the Astros.
How many?
I want the Astros balls to be on Flaherty and going out of the park. Is what I'm saying.
I don't know if I followed what you're saying, Anthony.
I'm trying to visualize it, but I don't.
I'll make it clear.
Yeah.
I'll make it clear. I want the Astros balls not on Flaherty's face, because I don't want to see him get hurt, but out of the stadium,
over his head.
Flaherty's ball. When he throws, I want the Astros hit his balls out of the stadium. Does that make?
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Is that clear?
So you want the exploding balls out of the stadium?
I want the balls to explode out of the stadium.
Do you think these balls would be juiced because it's postseason?
No, I think they'd be juiced a little bit.
I think so. It's the postseason.
I mean, that's the way they're
Baseball.
going to explode. If the balls aren't juiced, they're not going to explode.
Well, it is Houston, I guess I'm talking about. So, yeah, there are probably some cheating involved. I would allow it
you would.
Just to watch Jack Flaherty crumble. Just for one postseason.
All right. Moving on. Let's talk some football. Did you guys hear about this? Kyle Shanahan confirmed that the plan was to sign Phillip Rivers to the Super Bowl had they won the NFC Championship game against the Eagles. Per report, Rivers was prepared to play, said Kyle Shanahan, who mentioned the plan to the Athletics' Tim Kawakami last month. It's stuff we talked about throughout the year. We would have seen how that was for the Super Bowl. That was the plan for most of the year.
Wow. I love it, actually. I love it.
They were thinking ahead.
It would have been great for my cousin to get into a Super Bowl.
Very true.
2, why wouldn't you? Get a guy who can just get the ball into your players' hands. And I don't know, did Phillip Rivers ever play for Kyle Shanahan?
No.
So he'd have a playbook issue there. But again, if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm thinking of a veteran guy that can thumb through the playbook. We can earmark a couple, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's not going to be like splitting the atom for him.
Well, he also, what'd you say that was playing midseason?
No, when Brock Purdy, if they would have went to the NFL, to the Super Bowl.
It sounds like they were thinking about if they ever had a problem, they would reach out to him.
I wonder if they got him the playbook.
Oh, I would have.
Like months before.
Hey, buddy, just peruse this.
Thought about it. Yeah.
Just peruse this.
Yeah.
But what were your options? You would have had to have done something like that.
They had no quarterback.
Drew Brees would have been another option, I guess. You're looking for a guy that can handle the moment, that has had success. You're not going to go sign an unknown guy or a younger player that
You know what they could have done? Now I'm thinking about, because Jamie, you asked a good question about whether or not Phillip Rivers had ever played under Kyle Shanahan. What they could have done was sign Matt Schaub, who would have been also retired, and he spent 2 years in Atlanta with Shanahan.
You want to put the ball in that guy's hands in the Super Bowl?
Not really, but at least he knows the playbook.
Yeah, I don't care. I'd rather give it to Phillip Rivers or to Drew Brees, for that matter. I'd give it to them both.
Or you go Wildcat with Christian McCaffrey all game. That would have been.
They tried to do that in the conference championship. They couldn't do it.
They didn't. They didn't.
Yeah, they didn't have prep time for it.
That's It's almost an impossible task. I'm not saying they would have won, but
this is you might know the answer to this. All hypotheticals, of course. But if I'm not mistaken, the first time Tom Brady retired was at the end of January. Oh no, you know what? That was a year before. Never mind.
Yeah, you're going to say sign him?
Well, it doesn't matter now,
right,
but I was thinking the year before. Could you imagine if
he loses to Dallas and he
retires? But would he be?
No,
he wouldn't be eligible.
No,
I don't believe.
No, because it'd be the.
Could you imagine?
It would be after, because the NFL season has a distinct ending point, and it wouldn't have been over at that point. Yeah,
I figured it wasn't wasn't possible, but
yeah. That would have been funny nonetheless.
Really funny.
All right, that's what's...
And you know he would have won.
Oh, yeah, of course. He would have hung 500 on
in his hometown, too.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN, and any Kansas City fan that is listening, I don't mean he would have literally hung 500 on you. Just
probably
350 or so. Beat the streak, and biggest question of the day next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, our guy Ron, the Wizard of Comfort over at Swiss Air Heating and Cooling, he just continues to do amazing things. And the company itself is fantastic. They can rip out your HVAC, put a new one in, and they're efficient units. I mean, it's just great. But if you want to just maintain your HVAC unit, sign up for the Magic Tune. It's only $69, and what they do is they provide a 29-point cooling system check to ensure that your cooling system doesn't break down, especially when it's really hot outside.
Let me tell you, Swiss Air, hands down the best company to work with in St. Louis when you're talking about your AC or your furnace. Trust me on this one. We had our entire AC and furnace replaced this past year. I mean, really, 6 months ago or so? They were incredible. And when we priced, shopped around, nobody beat Swiss Air's customer service. Nobody beat their pricing. Nobody beat their warranty, which was, adds customer service. But when the technician came in initially, he talked to me about, my son Killing's got allergies and he's really bad during the spring and the fall. Talked to us about how they can install something into the furnace and the AC that takes some of the allergens out. This is a company that cares. They want to make sure that we were taken care of. But when it comes to service calls, $35 off any service call right now when you call Swiss Air and Ron, the Wizard of Comfort. Normally $95. So if you are worried about your AC, it's seemingly acting on the fritz, call them now. $35 off any service call.
Yeah, tell them Anthony and Jamie sent you too. They love taking care of their customers. Customer service is at the forefront of everything. I know I was in the office and they were reviewing comments from customers currently and making sure that all their technicians and the staff are doing their job the right way. So please give them a call at 636-978-7800. Again, that number is 636-978-7800 or visit SwissAirSTL.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cards take down the Rays last night by a final score of 5-2. They won 2 of 3 in Tampa Bay. They are 5-5 in their last 10 and 9 games out of that final wild card spot. Matthew Liberatore last night went 8 innings, gave up 2 hits, 0 earned runs, no walks, and had 7 strikeouts. Adam Wainwright on the mound tonight against the Kansas City Royals. Dylan Coleman on the other end of that. 7-10 first pitch. Adam Wainwright going for win 199. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the 101 mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have Beat the Streak and biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning dealer.
Hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You ready to hit?
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
Beat the Streak here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter, and we have John on the line. What's up, John?
Hey, how are you guys?
Doing great. Thanks for playing.
Thank you for having me.
Marshy, what do we got for streaks?
Oh, I got no streak going now, Anthony.
Who's streaking?
Maybe later.
All right, I have 4.
Wow, Marshy.
You 2 are at 0 right now.
Hey.
Unfortunately, Ray, we have not heard from Ray.
Yeah, what happened to Ray?
I don't know.
Ray, if you're out there, you need to text us, please.
We really are.
We are concerned. I called him yesterday 3 times.
Yeah, so
I texted him twice today on the Aircraft Service text line. Nothing but crickets.
I'm concerned.
He's the Moonlight Graham of Beat the Streak.
He is. Yeah.
Very fitting. But we got John today, so the streaks and the way that we're going to go about this, I'll go first. Jamie will go second.
John will go
John will go second. Yeah. Jamie will go third. Anthony, you're going last.
Yeah. All right, Marshy, what do you got?
I'm going to go with MJ Melendez of the Kansas City Royals today.
Can't believe you could do that to Adam Wainwright.
Seriously.
John.
Disgusting.
Who would you like?
I'm also going to do that to Adam Wainwright, and I'm going to take Bobby Witt.
Wow. It's disgusting.
It's absolutely disgusting. Jamie, who would you like?
I'm not going with the Royal.
Okay.
I'm not. Let's see here. I think Paul Goldschmidt's going to... I think he's going to get one today. I got Goldie.
Okay.
Paul Goldschmidt, please.
Thanks for holding up the integrity of this show, Jamie.
Yeah, you're going with the Royal.
I'll go sure. Salvador Perez,
I knew
please.
I got you, Wayno. Don't you worry.
And so will the Royals. John, thank you so much, man. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
We'll talk to you on Monday, hopefully.
Yes, sir.
All right, there you have it. We do need a new Fade or Follow contestant. We let our last Fade or Follow contestant astray last week. Sorry about that.
What did we tell him last week?
We took the...
it was the Cardinals.
Cardinals over. Boy,
it was the team over.
It was the team over. But you know what? He even said, I liked the play. I was thinking about it myself.
Yeah.
So we can't feel too bad.
But we're supposed to help our listeners at that point and guide them in a different direction.
Yeah, but we should have took the Rockies over.
It happens.
I think they cleared that in the first inning. Anyways, we do need a new Fade or Follow contestant, so if you'd like to text in the Air Comfort Service text line and play Fade or Follow, 314-399-9646.
All right, guys, we got a little nugget from Mike Ryder. We always appreciate what Mike Ryder does around these parts. Tink Hintz, 63rd overall spot, is a competitive balance selection acquired from Tampa Bay in a trade that also included prospect pitcher Matthew Liberatore joining the Cards. Heading to the Rays were the 37th overall selection, along with outfielders Jose Martinez and Randy Arozarena. The question is, do you win the trade if Tink Hintz and Matthew Liberatore pay off? And Tink Hintz, like I said, was at 63rd overall spot.
This is intriguing now.
This is very intriguing.
I had no idea that pick turned out to be Tink Hintz.
Yeah.
Tink Hintz projects to be a top of the rotation guy at this point. So if he's a number one, I don't want to say an ace because they're like unicorns. You never know. But let's say he's a number one, maybe even a 2. And Liberatore's a 3 or a 4.
That means you got two pitchers.
You got 2 top 5 pitchers.
You had to wait a while, but you'd have two guys.
I think the Cardinals win the trade at that point.
I would say yes. Depending on how they do, of course. I mean, because Randy Rosarina has helped the Rays, he's hitting at the top of their order consistently. I mean, he's been a stud.
I know.
So obviously it depends on the performance of Liberatore and Tink Hintz. But yeah, if they produce, they perform.
I would imagine if they were in those spots, though, Anthony, they'd have to perform to get those spots.
Yeah.
You're not just going to hand over a 2 or a 3.
No. When you're just trying to win the division every year, you settle for a lot.
That's very true. But again, I'm still in the camp of this year's been a massive smack in the mouth to the Cardinals, and I think they're going to operate differently moving forward. Maybe not opening up the big bank book and all that, but I think they're going to do different. They're going to operate differently from a roster management standpoint.
Who got to you?
What are you talking about?
Who you been talking to? Who got to you?
From what? The Cardinals?
Yeah. This is different. It's just a different Jamie
Anthony,
that I just saw here.
I'm on the payroll.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Thanks for admitting it.
I'm included in all the meetings now.
Yeah.
Mo called me one day. I didn't know who it was. He changed his number after the last time because I kept calling him and texting. And he just said, listen, man, I've been listening to you on the fast lane. We need a guy like you. We're not going to give you an official title. We just need you in the room. Okay? It's like when I look over at the corner of the room, I want to see you while I'm doing my business. And I said, hey, you know what, John? I'm in. So
you're the guy in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
While he's doing his business.
Well, I don't want to distract him.
It's not a spot typically that you like to be in. Typically, you like to be the one
doing the business.
Yeah. And somebody else is in the corner.
But this is a different role for me because I'm making sure that he can do the business properly.
So
he gets it done the right way.
You're almost coaching him.
Yeah. And if he needs help, I'll come out of the corner and help him. You know?
I'm interested to hear how this goes down for you.
Yeah. I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
To be honest, what could go wrong?
A lot, really.
What you missed, criticisms, compliments, and fade or follow next on 101 ESPN.
This is the Fast Lane, broadcasting live from the Car Shield Studio on 101 ESPN.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Time to play Fade or Follow. Marsh, who do we have?
Today we have Rex joining us.
What's up, Rex?
Rex in effect.
What's going on, brother?
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. All right,
Rex,
so
what do you got planned for the weekend, buddy?
Yeah.
Well, what do you plan for tonight?
Well, man, I cut someone off just now, so...
Oh, that's all right.
Just flipping the bird and keep trying.
Yeah.
Call that the Anthony Stalter way.
Yeah, I faltered him.
Just get right behind him, nudge him a little bit. Rubbin's racing.
No, don't do that.
What?
Yeah, but I got 2 kids under.
No.
3, so
Never mind. No, drive.
I'm in bed for the night.
Oh, yeah, well, I get you. Now you really got the Stalter thing going on there. All right, so nonetheless, Jamie came up. We cooked up this play, and we love it. So,
I absolutely love it.
Jamie, go for it.
Well, as we know, Uncle Charlie on the bump tonight for the Cardinals, looking for 199 on his career.
Yeah, you do.
They have him at only 3.5 strikeouts. I know Waino doesn't have the stuff he used to, but they are playing the Royals, and I think Uncle Charlie's going to make one hell of an appearance tonight. I'm going to go, we have decided to go over 3.5 strikeouts for Adam Wainwright.
Would you like to fade us or follow us for $50 of FanDuel's money?
That's a tough one, boys. I thought you were going to go with the run total.
Well, we thought about it.
It did, but we're trying to help.
11.
We're trying to help Waino out here a little bit.
So they're predicting 11 runs, and you think he's going to get over 3 strikeouts?
Well, it'd have to be 4. It'd have to be 4. Yeah.
You don't have to go with us.
No,
you can totally fade us.
Yeah.
No,
and then root against Waino, your hero.
You're brutal, Anthony.
I know. I love Waino.
But you don't believe. I can hear it in your voice.
4 strikeouts is a lot, though, guys. I'm going to go... you don't got it like a scouting report, how many strikeouts. I don't think he has 4 strikeouts this year.
I can...
Okay.
I can tell you.
This is all about just believing.
I can give you his game log. Hold on.
Rex, we got to believe.
How many for the season? How many strikeouts?
Okay, so he had 5. He had 5 last week against Colorado. He had 3 against the Cubs, 3 against the Diamondbacks, 3 against the Marlins, 1 against the Astros, 0 against the Cubs. 3. He's only done it once, but it was last week.
Well, he had 3 a couple times.
Yeah.
But that would be under.
Yeah, but this is a Royals.
He's trending upwards.
He had 6 Ks against the Royals earlier this season at Busch Stadium.
There you go. All right, Rex, we need it. Fade or follow, buddy.
I'm taking it. He's going to get 5.
Yes!
All right, Rex is in. He's taking the over 3.5. So he's got to get at least 4 tonight. And you're going to win $50 of FanDuel's money. We'll be back next week.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks.
All right, have a great weekend, buddy.
Have a great weekend.
See you, boy.
All right, we'll see you. There you have it. Nice job, guys.
I loved Rex's honesty.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. He's like,
the poor guy,
boys,
like his mind was in a pretzel there. Like, man.
The 314 says, LOL, this dude is worried.
He is. I don't blame him. But like Jamie said, this play really is about belief.
Yeah.
Not about anything else.
Ignore the numbers.
Yeah.
Just believe.
Yep.
And if he doesn't get 4 strikeouts, because you didn't believe hard enough.
Good point. That's
hey, you know what? Maybe
point.
he'll still get the win though.
Look, don't win if you're not going to get the 4Ks. Yeah, That's how I think.
I'm kind of agreeing with Anthony.
You know,
on this one.
like
if you're not going to help Rex out, you might as well not even get 199.
Exactly. Thank you. You're not going to help Rex. get some new toys for the kiddos, then you're not going to get win 199.
636 goes, the guy has 2 young kids and you guys feed him that beat?
In fairness to us, we didn't know he had the 3 kids. Or the 2 kids or whatever.
2 kids.
Yeah.
I hope they weren't in the car. Were they in the car? We didn't ask. I didn't want to know.
So. Yeah. It's fine. Hey, if you missed anything from today's show, including Jamie's new role with John Mozeliak, make sure you download the podcast.
I'm there to help.
101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. BT joined us for the first 2 segments of the show. He actually joined just Jamie for the first 2 segments of the show because I got caught in the 270 accident traffic, so I didn't get here until 2:30. Then we talked about peeing your pants for about 10 minutes or so. Played the lineup game, of course. We talked to Marsh about not being fooled by the Cardinals' toxic relationship because Marsh is the only one still answering some text messages. Talked to our guy Matt Holliday about his son Jackson and young players like Matthew Liberatore. Talked about Matthew Liberatore as well. NFL Bowl predictions. What role does Andrew Knizner have moving forward? And couldn't get through Sports 6 back in 1 segment again, so we spilled it into 2. It's available on the podcast. What do we got for criticisms and compliments, Marsh?
Yeah, from UPS Tony, gentlemen, love the show. I feel Anthony getting stuck in traffic really upped his game today.
Thanks.
While I feel at the same time it rattled Jamie's kitchen, especially in the lineup game and the Gauntlet.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Well, the Gauntlet, yeah. I botched that one up, but it didn't rattle me. I don't think so. The lineup game? I'm just disgusted.
I didn't rattle you. Gorman not being in the 3-hole rattled you.
I mean, I like Gorman in the 3-hole.
I know you do.
Quite honestly, I think he'd fit perfect in the 2-hole.
Sure.
But
yeah, who wouldn't?
That's Goldie's spot. I'm not taking the big fundy out of there.
No, you can't take Yukon Cornelius out of the 2-hole.
No chance, baby.
Thank you for the compliment.
From the 636, Anthony should have just said your knee hurt, Anthony, and stayed home.
Oh
man,
yeah.
I missed my opportunity. I could have got scratched.
The driving surface didn't agree with your knee.
No, I got a tight left knee, guys. Can't come in. Just scratch me from the show today. See you Monday.
We tried.
We're going to text from the 303 after Jamie told the lady at Kohl's to sniff the pee from...
Yeah, get right in there.
From Stalter's hypothetical peed pants. Said, oh my God, I honestly haven't laughed that hard at 101 since Dunk one time used the phrase pink tacos to Randy and then tried to give him the suggestive, hey, haha, amazing, Jamie.
Thank you very much.
That was a really good point that you made. I would have just went in there like, look, I've been stuck in traffic. I just, peed my pants because I was stuck. Whatever. I don't care what you guys think, but you were proactive about it. You're like, yeah, grab a cup.
Yeah, fake the spilled drink.
Oh, look at me. Look at me. I need new underwear. I need new.
And if she's going with the yellow, you just say, I spilled my Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Hit a
spill
speed
my Mountain
bomb.
Dew.
Spill my Mountain Dew. Wow, you need to drink more water.
Right.
That's a good point.
Right. That's a
very ironic.
Can you help me get this stain out?
She wouldn't be able to do that. She's working.
What? She just
no, that's it doesn't work that way. You need
it works that way, Anthony.
You got to get a washing machine on that, Jamie.
Kohl's has a bunch of stuff. From the 314, we're talking about Andrew Knizner earlier today. Kiz is the nerd helping Wilson with schoolwork to be popular.
Oh wow, that's kind of an open-faced crap sandwich for our guy Andrew Knizner.
Yeah, I don't think he's a nerd. Is he a nerd?
I don't know.
I don't see him
personally.
as a Pete Alonso type guy.
No, I don't think so at all.
No.
I think we just debunked that theory.
I think so.
Yeah.
From the 314, love listening. Sarcasm game is strong. Fits me well and makes me laugh.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you really don't like sarcasm, satire, or snark, the 3 S's, you're probably not going to like this show.
Probably not.
But I feel like we make up for it in other areas when we're not using satire, snark, or sarcasm.
Straight up information.
Straight up information.
Another S.
Yeah, straight up statistics.
You have to make up for it if you're not strong in a certain field.
Good call.
Yeah.
From the 314, shared some stories, a few secrets, had a great time. Got me through the last half of my work week. Have a great weekend, boys.
You too.
Well, yeah, you too.
And a great weekend for everybody. Jamie, I feel like you need this one.
I need this one. We've had a couple of real busy weeks at camp.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. A lot of stuff going on all over the place. I need to kick my feet up, relax, have a cocktail, and enjoy the weekend.
Yeah, what do you think? Bourbon by 6:35?
No, I usually go home, get some things done, do dinner, and then once dinner's done and I'm ready to shut the night down and relax, that's when the bourbon comes out. 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
First pour.
Nice. All right.
Instead of first pitch, first pour.
First pour. I like that.
First pour, 7:10.
Used to be first pitch with first pour,
Yeah.
or first pour with first pitch.
Yeah.
Now Jamie's like, I could skip the first pitch because this team is awful.
Good point.
Yeah. Everybody have a great weekend. Thank you for listening. We greatly appreciate it throughout the course of the week. We will be back on Monday. So everybody have a great weekend. Have fun. Be safe. Enjoy it. For Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. Instant replay coming up from 6 to 7. We'll see you on Monday. See ya.